Hey guys, welcome to the stream. Interactive episode of Sundays with the Clink Room. It's kind of sun nights today, but yeah, we have an open invite to whoever wants to join us on the panel. So shoot me a DM if you want the link. I think we can house up to 20 people. We have a lot of beautiful faces here today, so I hope you guys do enjoy this episode. And for now, we'll play some beats by the BP Mercenaries kind of as we hang out and let people kind of join in. So yeah, so drop a like on the video, let us know you're here by saying hi in the comments, and for now enjoy this new beat. Oh, there you go, from the BP Mercs.
There he is. See? He has a beard.
Hey.
Yeah, it's like a requirement.
Yeah, I was gonna say, hey, that's the only way to do it, right?
Are you guys gonna make me leave?
Yeah.
So we got a couple first time. Well, we got one first time. We got Hines in the house today.
Hey,
Everyone say hi to Hines.
Oh, Chad.
I think everyone else has been on the show, right?
What's up, Heather, Ollie?
So it'll be cool. I mean, want to mix it up a little bit. Want to do something where we get a little bit more people involved and kind of just hang out and make it a little bit more community based. And yeah, so hope everyone enjoys this new format.
Yes, sir.
Clink time.
Hats off to you. Yeah, nah. Too bold for them. But hats off to you, too.
Ali.
trying to sign into my YouTube.
We got big Babs, big flies.
Yeah, big flies in the house.
Big
We
flies
got the
in-
beat, so Blaze can freestyle for us.
Oh, nice. Is that why he turned off his camera?
Yeah, I was about to say.
He's like, I ain't
Getting ready. He's getting ready.
He said, "Yeah, this day." No way.
It's an exciting time, though. This is nice to be able to do it, see it live.
Yeah. Just everyone can kind of participate, and we can get everyone's input.
I'm about to drop a new Critz.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Well, it's not new. New old, I should say.
And for people who ask me, like, hey, like, how many do you have? I don't remember. I'll make the slides. I try not to think. I throw them in there, and I try to make my reaction live and in the moment. Oh, we got Paco.
Paco's coming on. Nice.
There it is.
Here.
I reached out to him earlier and told him he should come in. There he is. What's up, Paco?
Did you send one to 40? I thought he was interested.
Oh, 40. That's right.
I just thought of him, too.
Yeah. I'm a AWOL. He's the first one that said he'd come. Come on.
Mm-hmm. That's why I figured I'd say something, because I didn't know if you
I
would.
forget 40. That's just weird.
Right? That's kind of egregious.
Especially when he volunteered.
Yeah, man, I'm a jerk like that sometimes.
Uh-oh. See, my boy has a beard too.
Yeah.
Come on, Aaron. You got to join
I didn't
the crew.
know. I didn't know. Nobody warned me, man.
That's a requirement of the show. You gotta have a beard. Yeah. You come,
Well, it's
you
like
come
I
through
was
with no
told, Blaze-
beard, and there's a problem. God damn it!
It was like I was telling him I shaved before I got on. So I mean I can't even be cleaner right now.
Man, it's all
That's
bad. It is all bad.
That's why I changed my Instagram pic. You know, the pay me guy. I put a beard on him. I was like, "There's me now."
Man.
Man, I don't think we've ever had this many people on the show at once. This is crazy.
You're gonna have to curate. You're gonna have to curate, Leon.
Yeah, no problem.
Well, I mean, all of us are pretty chill, so
Yeah. I don't think anything's good.
we're not gonna.
And yeah, let me know. Anybody who wants to join, shoot me a DM.
This is the
Also-
Clink right here. You're seeing the Clink, and all the peeps that are involved that want to be part of the community.
Yeah.
You know, this is what it's about right here. Talking, acknowledging, and helping each other out, man.
General disclaimer. Since I don't got to work tomorrow, we have already started drinking.
Oh shit!
If I say anything out of pocket, you or don't.
Keep them on. So keep them live at your own risk. Looking at us.
Right.
Blaze is like, if he gets really out of pocket, I'm there in like 20.
Hey, I'm straight. Shit, I'm 20 minutes from over here laughing like a motherfucker. Man.
I hope everyone's
You got
they're
cash
wrapped up.
tonight. He's got cash every night. Come on.
Goddamn right, man.
I should be studying my NFL. I got a draft tomorrow. But
I got my drafts tomorrow, so I'm good.
We did our draft last weekend.
I did 4. No, I did 5 last week.
Oh, you're
What's up,
sick.
Matt Bell?
You're sick.
I have my last one tomorrow night. Yeah, I'm kind of bad with that stuff.
Do you think like how easy it is to gamble has taken away from a little bit of like the fantasy lust?
Not for me.
Not for
But
me.
then again, I'm not that big of a sports gambler.
Me either.
So I do a little bit on the side for fun, like Prize Picks. Has like little parlays you can do and stuff like that. But it's I still love the fantasy aspect of it because it keeps me current on on all the players in the NFL, and that's what I really like about it.
I just got invited to a survival pool thing. I've never done one of those before, though. That seems interesting. But I do like the idea that the money stays within people and not go to some house or some bookie or whatever.
Nobody's getting a piece.
All right, I think we can kind of start. Let's see if this works with this many people. Let me turn this music off for a second. But yeah, let's just get going. So, welcome to the first community episode of Sundays with the Clink Room. I want to thank everyone on the panel for joining. First timer Heinz, but the rest of the people you may or may not know. So we got from Heinz to my right. Then we got Donnie, aka Creature Sword, aka Donnie Discord. Then we got Zach from Soundwave. Blaze and Paco and Blaze are usually Blaze and Paco, but they're hold on. Let me adjust these two guys.
That's why it works as Blaze and Paco. There you go. Okay.
There we go. We got Blaze and Paco. The official sound of the episode. I can't thank you two enough for allowing me to use your music. And then the unbearded one, Aaron, John Inkbark. Blank camera 1, Gemini, and blank camera 2, Rick Clifton. So,
holy shit! Is this the first time we've seen John's face?
No, with a beard. With the beard.
With a beard, it's been a minute.
It's been a minute. Yeah. That's full growth. That's time growth right there. That's not that I didn't shave shit. That's like I let this boy grow. I love it.
John's usually clean shaven.
Right? That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, in the show with the fully.
I joined the beard crew. I joined the beard crew.
Nice. It saves you so much time.
Oh man. Whew. I'm telling you.
Yeah, and it's a food saver for later, but we'll get into I wanted to have this type of episode to kind of have a kumbaya moment. I feel like there's a little bit of cattiness and a little bit of back and forth and a little bit of complaining. So but I wanted to have something where we kind of get together and have like a kumbaya moment and kind of enjoy the thing that kind of brought us all together, which is the love of custom hats and the love of Clink Room. So
am I just lucky and don't actually hear that crap? My bad.
Oh, you're good at ignoring it.
You're lucky. If you don't hear it, you're lucky.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. I'd be like,
People DM me and I'm like, is there some sort of double secret probation group that y'all are in? Because I don't hear none of this.
Yeah, I love it. Hey, you know what though? I'm gonna say straight up, I'm glad that I don't hear any of that crap because legit, yeah, dude. I this is one of those situations where it's like it's hard to understand how anybody would be. I'm gonna just say in their feelings or in any sort. I mean, at the end of the day, dude,
it is sort of, but then when you hear it, it's not. I hear a lot of it, and it's probably because people think I'm into it. and that's fine. I'll listen to you, but yeah, I agree with Leon. It's good to just be open and honest. I've been trying to do that on a daily basis. So it's coming to me.
You know what it is too. I think a bit of it is just misreading people's tones. So like it may come off as genuine, concern, or if someone has missing pins or their order gets switched out, and they're just genuinely frustrated and venting their frustration. But then when people pile on, it just might seem like, hey man, holy crap! Like,
I mean, even when I see that stuff, like now I do see that stuff, and I think I have a different approach about it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being upset. I think at the same time, though, there's a certain decorum that you should have, no matter what it is, right?
Yeah.
I don't understand that. I don't understand the idea of everything being like sometimes I see dudes and they make it into a personal attack. I mean, at the end of the day, we're talking about people, and people are doing these things. All of the aspects of this of the clink are done by people, which means there's no such thing as perfection. Things are going to get fucked up, going to get missing, whatever. And and there's an appropriate way to address that. And when you do that, things happen. Everything else beyond that, I look at them sideways because I'm like, dude, it's just not that serious. No matter what, this isn't life or death. The amount of money that we're talking about, if you're that hard up for $60, you shouldn't have been spending it on a hat. And so it's like I don't have that same amount of welcome to people just being assholes. Yes, there are some people who are just venting because they're frustrated. I get that, right? You can tell the difference there. But when it's the folks who just take it as their moment to shit on everything because they're not getting away, go fly a kite. It's nonsense.
Yeah, I just want to say, as artists, I've been clinking since day one, even before that, and all of us here. It would be lying to say that we don't get disappointed if our design doesn't make it. We all do.
Right.
We as artists, we all have to have thicker skin. When someone gives crits, I'll give Leon a good example. I just posted a crit. He gave me a great idea. It didn't make it through the first time. The second time, maybe it will because of a great idea that Leon had. So as artists and as this community, dude, don't like if you're going to take things like criticism or you're going to take it to heart, this is not the game for you then.
No. Nah, not at all.
And if your feelings are hurt because someone said something or gave you criticism, you shouldn't be an artist. This is not it.
No, not at all.
Every art is subjective. What one man, you can appreciate everyone's art, but if it's not for you, it's not for you. I think Creatures, you said that the other day. You're like, I can appreciate John's art. He goes, this is just not for me. Yeah. And you know what? That didn't hurt my feelings. You know what I mean?
Right.
So nobody's feelings in that Discord should be hurt, honestly.
Exactly.
That's the important thing because we kind of know each other, though. When you kind of know, that's why it's tough when somebody shuts themselves out of the community. And I mean, I think with some things, at least from my perspective, there's legitimate gripes to be had, but it's at some point it's just not worth it because nothing is going to be done, but people are going to look at you funny.
Yep.
Right. So that's why I'm willing to hear some of it.
But I think even that though, it's a difference between having a concern or complaint or gripe. There's nothing wrong with that. Period. There's no such thing as something that's perfect. There's no such thing as everybody has to agree. That's bullshit. And I don't think any of us as artists, we don't really want a bunch of people that are just going to blanketly agree. But I think, again, it comes down to what's your purpose with the level of complaint you take it to, right? Like I see dudes, when I hop on the Discord, a lot of time, one of the reasons I don't really post a lot in there is because you see a lot of dudes who are using that as their opportunity to try to curry favor. And when I say curry favor, it isn't always that they're trying to be friendly. In some cases, they're trying to get other people to recognize who they are for what they are, et cetera. And sometimes they do that on the negative side of things, which is fine. Again, but it comes down to what is your goal in doing that, right? Yeah. If you feel like the way designs are getting picked or whatever favors a certain person, that's cool. You express that, you express your reasoning behind it, and then you move forward. And then at the same time, you see some dudes who it's like they keep it cocked, ready. Anything happens, anything goes on, they're ready to fire that shit off. Oh yeah, you see this? Oh yeah, remember that? It's like that's not helpful. It's not helpful to you because ultimately
hate me.
Yeah, I mean, because look at it. As much as we're talking about, we like to be objective. We want to at least listen. You got to admit, some of those same folks who just keep doing the same bullshit, keep running the same complaints, keep doing it the same way. Even you, as a person who's trying to listen, you're kind of like, come on, man. Come on. It's just not that deep. No. It's just me. I always look at it as like, this is something that you just can't sit there and spend, if you have 100 units of time, you can't spend 95 of them complaining and then say you love it. It does not work that way. Because you are essentially convincing everyone who doesn't know you that you dislike it. And I mean, and there's difference than just saying, hey, this sucked, or I don't like the way it's picked, or, hey, what do you guys know about it? I know. I just find it difficult to create an opinion based on solely my own wants and needs. And then I don't take any effort to do anything else. That's a bad way of doing things, especially as an artist or a designer of any sort.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it's easier to take the explanation of, he's favored, or there's
you don't want to accept that you suck.
Hey man, I know for me and Paco, a lot of the time, like I always laugh because the reason why, kind of like John said, dude, you gotta have thick skin. You gotta have really fucking thick skin, right? I got no problem with a motherfucker telling me, hey, your shit's trash, bro. I'm like, that's cool, thanks. And then I move on.
Whatever. If Clink gave more feedback, it would help, though, right? People wouldn't be in the dark like, what do I need to do?
Yeah, I agree with that. That. And I think that's a thing. But see, I think even like you just said it right there, right? You don't see a lot of those same dudes saying that. What you see them saying is, well, hey, it's not my, I'm not in the in group. I'm not in the in crowd. Bullshit, right?
Yeah, it's easier than acknowledging you suck.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, hey, boom, look, this is one of the things you can improve. It doesn't necessarily have to be, if you do this, you will hit. It literally can be just, hey, you know what? Take a look at this, or try this, or maybe if you do this, or here's an option, or here's an idea. Very similar to what John just said about what Leon offered him. It's the same type of thing, and I think that because it doesn't always come from the Clink Room proper, a lot of those same dudes don't want to hear it. If you yourself was, or if John says it, or Leon says it, or if I say it in a post or something, a lot of those dudes will blow that shit off like we didn't say shit. But if you were to take one of us and just give us the Clink Room account for the moment, right? And we responded with the exact same statement.
Would take it. For sure.
For sure. Right. And that's and to me, again, that's bullshit. Because that just means you're not really trying to get better. You're not really trying to do it for community. You're not really doing anything other than you want the attention of being the person who gets what they want. And that's not a community thing right there.
And here's the thing too, talking to Casey, talking to Jason, talking to guys that, me, we've worked with Brandios, worked with Kate, Clink at the beginning. These guys have no idea what hits. They honestly don't.
No, even if you think you do, like I used to when I first started doing the Monday evening.
No way. You just
eventually you realize you have you got lucky if you never knew anything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a great example of that is look at how many of crits that we all look at and think to ourselves, that's going through, that's going to make it, that's awesome. That's perfect Clink, and it never makes it. So I mean, that's right, absolutely. And then it votes at like at 21%. Or some nonsense like that. So
I don't track it because I don't want to like make myself feel bad. But I've done the 1, 2, 3, like my picks for the 1, 2, 3 off the crits for like the last 6 months. And very rarely does my 1, 2, 3 hit. I'm like, what the fuck do I know, man? So I think that's the beauty of it.
And I also think that's the beauty of it. And I think that's where it gets lost in some of the competition of being artists and designers and wanting that attention and wanting that look. I think that's what gets lost in it. Is there's a certain amount of joy in being able to say, holy shit, I would have never picked that shit. And I know I'm guilty as fuck, bro. So, like I'll be sitting there and I'll be looking through, and I legit, I'll look through every single joint on crits. I'll pick like 3 or 4 of them. Like, yo, that's hard. That's hard. That's hard. That's hard. Oh, that's not me. That's not it. That's not it. And then I turn around on Friday and all them joints that I was like, nah, that's not it. All of them hit. And I'm like, what the fuck is this, bro? But I mean, at the same time, I'm not going to go into Discord and be like, it's because such and such is a favorite. I'm not going to do that, bro. I mean, that shit kind of hit though. Like, I
know exactly where John's taking this.
You got to empathize with people who submit all the time. Like, now I'm taking myself out, but I understand why if you're submitting all the time, you could start to feel that way.
Yeah. And that's an inexperienced thing. I know John will probably jump on me on this one, but like that's an inexperienced thing, dude. No, I don't mean jump on me in a negative. I mean, like it's an inexperienced thing. I know me and Paco, look, like we do songs and shit all the time, whatever. And there's tons of times we send stuff or we do stuff and it just doesn't connect. Like I'm sitting there looking like, yo, I wrote some crazy fucking bars. I'm fucking dope. And then somebody's like, nah, that's not hitting. Okay. And then okay. And then your whole shit is like boom. But at the same time, again, it could happen 46,000 times in a row, over and over and over and over. You're seeing people just like, nah, that's not it. It's not it. But then you get that one person like, yo, this is my hit. This is the joint. And me and Paco are like, it is? And we're like, that shit's trash. But yeah, you're right. And it's the same thing, dude. Same thing.
As a producer, rule number 1 is never scrap a beat.
Facts.
And like delete it completely.
Facts.
You never know
Facts.
who's gonna like it.
Yep.
In the end, Blaze is rapped over stuff that I absolutely thought I hated.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I just sent him over.
Yeah.
So
it's always timing too, right? So
thank you.
You can hit someone up with the right intentions, with the right thing, and then they either forget or whatever, and it's never a personal thing. It's like once you start crossing over and assuming everything.
The other thing too is we never know what goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
We know what goes to queue sometimes. We don't know when those are coming out.
No.
We don't know what Casey has selected. We don't always know who's got a contract. And just because you got a contract doesn't mean that it's going in that Friday.
Right.
So and I mean we've got artists in Clink that do not communicate that.
Right.
So we have no idea. Then again, we have artists in Clink that don't communicate to any of us anyway. So it doesn't matter.
Right.
Sometimes I know I wonder to myself, I'm like, I know it's one of those things that's got to be kind of defeating when you put in a couple of, I see a lot of people who are, they're creating designs, they're creating stuff like daily. I won't say they're only doing it daily, but they're putting them up for people to pay attention to, for consideration, daily. And in some cases, maybe you see one hit the crits at all, or you don't see them at all. Right. And then it's a waiting game, right? It's the long con versus the short. It's the marathon versus the sprint. There's always room for improvement. There's things that you can do different, things that can be changed. Right. And I feel like that transcends all art, no matter what. When you're doing art for the perusal of other individuals, you're always going to be at a disadvantage because you're never really going to know what they want. Even as someone, when you're contracting for someone, right? And they're like, hey, I need you to design something. Even then, you don't really know what they want until you hit it, and that's the same attitude. That's the same circumstance, the same everything when it comes to crits. And I think people have gotten to a point where they almost feel entitled to more attention, more play, more everything. When in reality, again, you're essentially putting this up in the ether for everyone to assume, and you have nothing to go on, and it is the ultimate in it's like the ultimate in being like, yo, here goes nothing. And then at the same time, people are expecting something. And I think that's where for me a lot of time I'm like, I don't understand.
I don't see that as much. I see more the first thing you were talking about with like people submitting a lot and not really knowing why their stuff isn't, and it made me think that that's why it's important, and that's why I've been trying to, and I think everybody should give their honest opinion about something.
Yeah.
And not just say, yeah, this is dope or whatever. Like, give an honest opinion. It sucks, but it will help them ultimately. And if somebody's like submitting something that is not going to go, tell them. Don't leave it for them to wonder.
Yeah. Well, I think sometimes it's hard, though. It is hard sometimes to say, like, for example, if there's like a couple weeks ago, let's go with there's 15 joints. And I'm gonna be honest, bro, some of them, there isn't much else to say, but this joint's dope, right? And you say that, and to your point, I agree, right? As an artist, you do want more feedback than that, even if I do think it's dope, right? Even if 50 people on that post say, oh, this is dope, you do want more feedback. But more importantly, if you don't see any feedback, you want more feedback. But I think that's a difficult task in this environment because it's kind of like performing at a concert. You don't go to a concert to perform in front of people and hope that they're going to give you constructive criticism. In reality, you want that constructive criticism in the sense that you want people to applaud what you're doing and you want them to like what you're doing. But if you're looking for that level of criticism, I think you should be getting that amongst your peers and mentors separate of the release. And really, that's what Crits comes down to, is it's the show day. It's the day where you show up and say, here's what I got. And yes, I know it's curated, obviously. So, not every single thing is going on Critz automatically. But again, it's almost unfair to us as consumers, not just designers, but as consumers, to be faulted with the idea that we've got to make you understand what we think of what you want. When in reality, my only real purpose or my only real responsibility is if I buy it or not. And that's where it's like, it is both. And yes, I understand it because I'm both an artist, but I'm also a consumer and I'm also a businessman, which I know, again, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what, the opinion or reasoning behind it is, if you're willing to say, I like this or I don't like this.
Well, that's definitely I mean, more like literal things like, oh, you can't have a cigarette on there. Oh, you need to have a white background. I think sometimes people don't get involved in that. And I don't know if it's for nefarious reasons, like, well, it's one less person, or if it's just, well, they'll figure it out. I just think we should, hey, this isn't going to fly for legal. Hey, this has already been done. Anything like that, I think,
But you know what?
I still think it's responsible. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, I think as artists too, some of the best comments it's always nice to have someone say, oh, I love your work. But I can't think who it is, but every Thursday I can count on a couple people to give some actual, positive, constructive criticism. Hey, this color doesn't work, or hey, I really like the design, but change this. And even some of the artists that have been on your show, Leon, have been great.
Yeah.
I like when they're honest, and hey, if they don't like it, they don't like it. That's their opinion. But as artists too, like if there's something you don't like, oh, maybe I'd change this, or maybe I'd add this. We should always try to give that positive, constructive feedback and help those. Yeah. And as far as like new designers, I think what I've seen the trend lately is Casey will throw in a couple designs in there that maybe they're good ideas, but they're just not, the art's not ready. But for the most part, if you see most of the submissions, the art's pretty much there.
Right.
Right. That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. It's a style thing. It's a difference in,
you guys are right. When he said that, you are right. There's very few that are like, the art isn't ready.
Right.
There are some.
Right.
And those, those guys could.
So for newer designers, look at the designs that are going up. And if your art, as far as refinement, is close to that, then submit it to Critz. But if you're waiting, obviously either the idea isn't right, or because Casey does look at all this stuff. So, for him to pick it, I'm sure he's trying to pick something that's close to being ready. Because what ends up happening is, if it's not ready, Casey has to do a lot of work behind the scene to get that ready. And he'll get his artists, V, me, whoever it is, hey, I need you to clean this up. So, or Casey will do it himself. So that's why he may or may not put certain designs up. So it's up to us as artists too to make sure it's refined.
Yeah, I think that's a missing piece too. Legit is a lot of the time. I know there's a lot of cats who do kind of work with other artists and get that feedback and get some of that. I'll just call it training for simplicity's sake. But they'll get some of that training, they'll get some of those ideas, and they'll keep bouncing those things off of people because that's improvement. That's how you improve, right? Again, using kind of the same connection, like with Paco, like whenever I'm doing some stupid ass beat or something, or mixing or something like that, I'm not just throwing it at the wall and going, yeah, I'm right. I before I ever let anybody hear it, right? I'm going to him. I'm going to one of my other homies, Cisco. I'm going to different people who I know have talent or have a skill even better than I do, because that's how I learn. That's how I get better. That's how I improve. But I think a lot of the time there's a level of wanting to be owed the attention of the main stage without having made it to the main stage. And sometimes you really do have to go to the other folks and get some of that credit, some of that corrective action and whatnot. And then it gets better and you keep improving. And I think that's that missing piece sometimes is folks don't want to go through they don't want to go through the trial. They don't want to go through the work. They want the success. And I hope you guys can hear my dog over here snoring.
So I guess today we learned that the max in the studio we can have is 10. So we'll be rotating in and out.
For sure.
So Rick Clifton, you're in the background. If you want to be tagged in, let me know on the side.
Everybody's here today.
The cool thing too,
love it.
On the other side is even if your art's not ready, I think if you reach out to Casey, he would be more likely to either team you up with someone on his team or clean it up themselves. Right. We all remember AI guy. And that
he won't let me forget him. He still DMs me, my wife, and myself.
Really? Wow, no kidding.
That's wild. That's wild.
But I think he even DM'd me at once too.
I bring him up to say that Casey was ready to put that concept in the store. He was going to have someone redraw it. He just liked the concept. Marlon, not an artist himself, but Casey would work with him and team him up with different artists. And still released under his banner, but like still do it. I mean, I believe John, you did a couple of his Marlon Tubles. So you don't have to necessarily be the person to come with the finished art necessarily, but like you could still work out a deal if it's something you need help on, or because there's so many ways. I mean, I think he really values. I mean, Donnie, you brought it up on one of your shows. I think he really values like the grinders, like the people like Rafael, like Jacobo, and people that are just willing to work at it. And Seok, I think of Seok and how many
so many
things, Aurelian, and how many different things he did, and I think that's part of it too. It's just the working on it. And I think that's the origins of Clink. I mean, it used to start on message boards 1.0. It was like message boards and just a community of artists. And I think that's what's so cool about this platform is that, yes, people who like nerd out and like Clink watch it and consume it, but a lot of it is the designers, and you can come on and get tips and get different feedback and stuff like that. So I think that's the bigger part of it. Like, how do we grow and make this thing bigger? So
yeah.
So we had a comment up here by Ed Hall. What do you guys want to kind of chime in on this? His comment here: not every idea has to become a series trend. Landscapes, origami.
So let me drop my 2 cents into this particular one, and I agree with him. Not every good idea has to become a series or trend. However, we do have artists in Clink that will take somebody's design.
Oh shit! Here we go.
And do their quote unquote own version.
I'm glad somebody else brought it up. Thank you.
And they'll do it 100 times over.
And it'll run into a series because of that, because people think that it's okay for them to do that, because they'll see one design that may not make it in, and then the rework by somebody else gets in, and they think it's okay.
I think that's how we. It's hard to say because something like a Reaper. No one owns the Reaper,
right?
Concept. No. But we've seen a million Reapers.
Well,
so
I think
guys.
Actually, Leon, I think you were one of the first ones. You and
Tony was the original
Reaper one,
the master Reaper maker. So I was very sensitive about. Tony wrong. But he, in fairness, he didn't invent that motif, but he was really good at doing it. So it's like anytime I saw a Reaper for a while, I was like, you're not as good as Tony though. But it's just I love it because he's just been doing Reapers forever. But like, does that mean no one else can have a shot? I don't think so.
It's a fine line, because there's certain concepts and ideas that have actually grown into really fun series. We've seen it, that have done that. But I think the other side of that line is where things become derivative of each other, and then it just gets boring. It's just like I said, I used to be a really big fan of the landscapes inside of a shape, and when executed well, it looks really great. But how
many do you need?
Right, exactly. I mean,
how many shapes do you need to do it in?
Right, exactly. Eventually, it gets to a point where it's a shape with something inside that nothing's related. I mean, what does it mean? What's the story? And is it just a shape with a landscape in it for the sake of having a shape with a landscape in it? And that's where the fine line is to me. Is are you really still being creative with it, or are you just throwing something out that's worked for somebody else?
I don't even remember who the first one was.
Northern Aurora.
No,
earlier.
Earlier?
I
know they did
Animal or
Animal.
Extinction or whatever.
I think it was 65.
No.
Yeah, 65 Bolt sounds right.
No,
T-Rex?
no. Night
No,
Sky.
T-Rex wasn't. T-Rex was
Night
after.
Sky.
Night Sky.
Was it Night
That's
Sky? Okay.
Early 2.0. That's
Okay.
Is that in a shape or just a scenery?
It is more of
I think it's evolutionary. Yeah, it started the evolution into the
started
shape
the
thing.
evolution.
Well, shit, we've gone right back to just that, just the scene.
Yes. Yes.
No, you know what? Still, yeah, you do have to follow the trends, but that's where Clink is unique in a sense. Like, it's not like one of those clothing brands that's out there chasing trends necessarily. The artists, us ourselves, are the ones that are pushing that. So if an artist throws up, like you said, a scene, and all of a sudden you got 15 other artists putting up scenes, guess who just set the trend? We did.
Right? We did. Exactly.
So
exactly.
As that's what's unique about Clink. See, I'm the same way. Like, I'm a businessman first, got into art, did all that. So I was in the clothing brand. I understand trends, but the what's unique about Clink is us as artists set the trend. So as soon as we think, the Reaper sells, or this sells, there's artists in the community that's all they do then, because they're just trying.
Exactly.
They're trying to make that trend and write it. That's fine if that's what you want to do. That's not for me as an artist. I know what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna try to come up with something cool that the community is gonna like. Now, that's not always gonna hit. I think my first I have a pepper series that I'm trying to do. The Carolina Reaper was my first one. I think I've had the ghost pepper up there in like 3 different concepts, so it's just trial and error. What's going to stick? I don't know. Who knows?
And other people have tried the ghost pepper too and haven't gotten through.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't seen anybody else try it, but
there's been a lot.
There's been a lot of them. Yeah, there's been a few.
Are you Ink Park?
Yeah.
You are? Okay, that makes so much sense now. Especially like I have a background. I don't know your face. So I get to put a name to a face.
If you're on the computer, you can see everyone's name below.
Oh man!
Nah, sometimes it doesn't show though.
Yeah, I don't see
it.
Yeah, it
doesn't show.
You said you're like, I have a background in like sports brand, like apparel branding, and I was like, that makes so much sense because every time I see something from you, I feel like this would be a logo for like a streetwear brand, and they're always really sick.
Yeah, and that's like my background, so that's what I do. But
that makes sense.
It is.
I think I put the original ghost pepper like 3 or 4 years ago, and then I guess there's been some more. I haven't really kept up with the other ghost peppers, but it's trial and error.
We've been back. I don't think we've been back for real though.
Yeah.
Nah, it's funnier for me and Paco, right? There's one that we were involved with, and we did a little cut song for it. Yep. And that was only a couple months ago. But the point is not that is a derivative idea. It is in fact kind of exactly what John's saying is there's nothing stopping people from having similar ideas. But the other thing is, and it's like everything, right? As soon as somebody sees this hit, the same people we've been talking about the last 10, 15 minutes, the first thing they think isn't, hey, let me come up with a better idea. They say, oh, that hit, let me do it. That hits, let me do it. Oh, that hits, let me do that. And that's where it starts going in that cycle. Then we as artists, we all go, well, damn, how many freaking Reapers do we need? And then we're all wondering why there are so many. Well, it's kind of a combination though. If people are buying them, then of course they're gonna hit, right? Yeah. It's past us artists, folk. It's like, if they hit, they go into production and they sell like crazy, and it's another dope design, you might as well sell the sucker again, right? But it's always gonna be hard to pick that out because people have. There's a couple of different facets of what we're looking for. We're not all thinking about, does this sell or does this not? But
and again, we set the trend as artists. You know what I mean?
To some extent. But in the chat, Ed said we used to see more diversity. Well, I mean, it's kind of hard in some respects when they seem to pick themes now. You guys have noticed that there's
there's also way more in crits now.
There's way more influx in general. Like if you think about the amount of people that are doing for considerations, I don't know how many of you guys do this, but I look at the hashtag
Yeah. Oh, there's
no fucking way anybody's going to be able to really get down in there and make sure that it's super diverse.
Right.
After a while, there's just so much that you do kind of have to say, all right, let's try this. Let's throw something at the wall and see what happens.
Well, it seems they're
crazy.
Overwhelmed with the volume too, because the majority of the crits are just from the week that the crits is.
Yeah.
So what we'll see in a bit is they're mostly going to be submitted in the last week.
Right.
So if your stuff isn't picked, you need to rework it and resubmit it.
Keep going. Keep trying.
There's been some weird stuff. There's been like someone from 2011 had a design come up.
Yeah, that was strange.
I had one from 8 months ago come up that I didn't even rework. It came up again.
Hey, Leon, can you pin Styles' comment?
Which one? This one?
Yeah. Oh no, not that one.
He'd love to see it.
Yeah, that one.
I mean, come on, right?
I mean, it doesn't matter if all of them are going to vote 25%. Clink Room's not going to do it, right? I mean, but maybe they wouldn't. That would be interesting to see. There's enough submissions like that to go back and get a bunch of retro logos and see if any of them cross the mark, or if it's just not what the majority of the crop is looking for.
I don't know. Look how Phil's votes gets. It's ridiculous.
It blows my mind. That always blow. That fucks me up all the time. That fucks me up all the time.
He's Clink to the T.
Yeah,
he's what so that his votes, it's insane.
Yeah,
but on the flip side of
that's what I'm saying. Like that, like Phil's stuff, is ready to go. It's great concept. It's great, everything about it, and then it gets like 10-15%. You're like,
come on.
So his style lends to embroidery so well.
Well, and for most of us, that's the style that we think that's Clink. That's for those of us that have really enjoyed it for a long time. But to Styles' point, from a consumer perspective, primarily, that's what I'm craving is that kind of design again, because we've gotten so far from that style that I just I miss it. I look at crits every week and I'm like, okay. And then I see a great example is John, when you had pandas in, I was like, how did that not go? It was crazy.
It was close. It was close.
Panda was so dope.
I think another victim of that is Brad Rayson, by the way.
I agree.
Brad's another one, dude.
I agree. Very much so.
That's
the Arabian Nights.
Like Phil. Yeah.
Arabian. Oh my God!
Why did Arabian Nights not make it? Because talk about a scene within an image, but he actually used the shape to tell to double down on the story, and I was like, "Whoa! How did this not make it through?"
There he is. Their style.
Hey, what's good?
Yo, Leon took himself out.
Leon took himself out.
Look at Leon, dude.
So, you want to elaborate on that style?
on the part about bringing those MILB styles in. Yeah, it's just I feel like everything anymore is just a scene, or it's and don't get me wrong, I think there's room for that in the Clink world, but give me some MLB, give me some logos. I want to see stuff that gives Clink that gives Casey that ability to just use the embroidery to tell a story. Because we're not getting
sorry, just to be fair, Casey has pushed the vibe thing a lot.
Yeah, he has. He is the one that put that on the map. Is we're looking for vibes, and that's what the scenery stuff is. That's what people are going for.
Yeah.
Yep. But the thing that originally drew me into Clink was what Casey did with the embroidery, and when you've got these designs that don't have any room for him to play with the embroidery, it's that's not as fun to me.
But is that also? Are we also being narrow-minded in the sense that we all have our druthers, what we prefer, but what we've all just said, every single one of us almost has said the same thing, which is it's an expansion, right? There's so many people who don't care about embroidery, right? There's so many people out there who are interested in Clink, not because of the same things like me. I'm one of those people. I love the MILB stuff, the older stuff that just hits different, right? It's completely different than whatever, but at the same time, I can say from experience, whenever I'll wear a hat or something and I'll be in a place where it's people who couldn't care less, right? And they'll comment on some of those hats that are what we're talking about, those scenery hats and whatever. They will go nuts, stop me in the hallway type of thing. On the other hand, I could wear anything that we just mentioned that I love, right? The stuff that I really, really do love. and no one will even notice, and they will never even pay attention. Some of that is because, again, the expansion of the idea of what people are looking for is so much different than it was originally. And also, if you think about it, the MILB stuff isn't all that popular with those people. They're popular with some of the folks like us. So then how do you bridge that gap? It's painful for us, like me. Like, I'd love to see more retro type of stuff, more MILB stuff, more unique, character-based designs. But at the same time, it's hard for me to argue when we know that the other is selling. They're selling a lot, or else they wouldn't keep being used over and over.
And the thing too is the community, right? Because all of us here know what sells. What sells a brand is marketing, 100%, right? 100% is marketing. That's how you get your name out there. That's how you do everything. So the community and the marketing that we do, and what we do as artists can help promote that kind of stuff. That's kind of what the average consumer is just looking at something, and maybe they're not as educated on what the brand is about. They just see something cool and they buy it. But that's where the community comes in, and that's where us as artists and designers, we help market it as well. Some there's been some more giveaways coming on. There's more stuff, so all that stuff is brand awareness, and that's just going to help promote what we as artists do and how Clink grows as well.
I think Ed brings up a cool thing. So Ed, my packs were kind of like a tester, and there's going to be more coming from other people. I don't want to give away too much away from that, but there will be more stuff you'll see in the future, and a lot of it is based on past sales numbers, which it could go both ways. Part of it is like there's more of a risk, so now he's got to pre-order them and have them made without collecting the funds first. Did it? Does it do well? But then there's also like the collector in me. Like John's wearing fresh sidekicks right now. That one, if you remember very not a lot of first the people who like Clink now may not even be into it from what it was before. But then that one like barely made minimum, and that one deserves a comeback too. So like there is balance. So I guess it just depends on the people picking their packs and what they choose, and does it fit the theme that he wants to do. I mean, ultimately it's up to him. So for me, as someone who like loves the Clink, I over give, so I will give like 100. I'll redesign 150. I don't care. You pick what you want to do, and at the end of the day, it's up to him. So that's part of collaboration.
I'm going to throw the first stone here because I think we've been a little nice for 45 minutes. There are some issues we need to talk about.
Sure,
I believe, because now I'd like to hear you guys your advice or feedback on what I just kind of went with through this week. I had a design go up, finished third in votes, by a good, like, I think 6%, had buffer on each side. So I figure, okay, I'm maybe going to get a contract. I'm pretty sure I'm going to. The next day, I find out there's a design that voted under 20% going in over mine, and it's been totally reworked to where it's not even recognizable as the same design, and it's now in the shop. Now, my response was I just emailed Casey. I said, hey, these are the facts. This is where it voted. I don't have any copyright issues. I don't have any legal issues. What's the deal? He goes, and his response was just, we'll put it in the queue. And I was like, all right, I appreciate it. And that's it. That's all the conversation was. But at some point, like, are there going to be better parameters of like, this is where things are going to land in the vote, or is it always just going to be this is what Casey wants to do?
I think it's going to be a mix of both. So I think like if you set like a precedent, it's kind of like New Era. Like New Era doesn't really have rules until you break them. So like the problem is when you set the rule, when you put the rule in, then people are gonna like, well, it voted 35. How come it's not in? So it's like sometimes 35 will get it done, sometimes 35 won't get it done. So that's part of the thing. Not to say like votes don't matter or or whatever the hell. But like, I just think like when you put stuff in writing, that's when you get a lot of people trying to play in the gray.
Which design was it?
Mine was Honey the Pooh.
Honey the Badger.
Or Honey the Badger, sorry.
Oh, that one was a great one too. I was hoping that one get through.
Yeah, that is tough though from his perspective, and I think a lot of people.
Right. I agree with him. I agree with him.
You know, like you get 36, and then you're third place. Usually, you're like, okay, I'm good to go. Not lately. They'll do 2 in that case. They really will. They won't. So there are some trends when you say voting, they say voting doesn't matter. That's don't believe your lying eyes stuff, because it obviously does.
I think we had this conversation the other day, like how many under 30 have ever really made it? You know what I mean?
3 now that I can remember.
3 since it's been right. So
I mean, there might be more, but that's like in the last 6 months, year.
Yeah,
or so.
it's super rare. So votes do count to a certain degree, and so do comments. I think. If designs are getting a lot of comments, so I think again it comes, and I'm sorry that one didn't get through. I thought that one was going to go through for sure, and I've had designs in the 30s not make it too. And I'm thinking, oh, okay, it's got in the 30s. Usually that's kind of like the standard, but again, that comes
35.
Yeah, that
37.
Oops. Oh, okay. Oops. Again, that comes back to the community again, like us as artists, really, helping promote designs and crits, really trying to get those people in there to give the responses and the votes. Mm-hmm. Again, it's all part of that marketing, and the more that we do that, the more we kind of force Casey's hand, being like, okay, this one's getting a lot of comments, this one's doing this, and we should do it. Now, again, unfortunately, there is no like, okay, it's 35%, it's in for sure.
I say roughly is a good benchmark, because that seems to be that cutoff is like roughly 35% that I see. And that's what I tell people too. And I say give and take, but it's like around the mid 30%.
Well, it depends on what's in there. If there's 6 in the 40s,
they're going to take them. Yeah, it doesn't. They're going to take them.
It really, it changes each week, but there are sort of very rough edges that you can say, hey, it looks like I'm, and I think that gets back to people thinking there's favoritism, because it seems to roll. The dice seem to roll well for certain people. I can just be real about that.
But is that unreasonable? Is that unreasonable?
It's not.
And I think anybody out there who's pretending otherwise is just being naive. Like no matter what, no matter what, you've always got to deal with
life in every
in anything, right?
Yes.
In anything. But I don't think it's a malicious attempt at favoritism, right? It's one of those things where it's like, I'll give as a good example. If me as an artist, I know working with X producer is a much smoother process, easier process, less bullshit, less back and forth, less delays, less complaining, less fucking around. I guarantee you I'm going to bet on that guy before I bet on the one who's over here, who's super popular, et cetera, hits all the other notes. Because at the end of the day, it's my time that is probably worth more than everything else. And I think a lot of the time we ignore that part of it. I'm not saying we're saying it doesn't exist, but I am saying sometimes that, it's going to be a certain amount of, I'm familiar with this guy. I know what he's going to do. I know how he's going to function. As an example, when Paco and I, when John hits us up for anything, I know I don't have to go through a bunch of bullshit. I know I don't have to go through a bunch of back and forth, figuring it out and all this other crap that I may have to do with a different producer, or a different designer who hits us up like, hey, we want to do something. I'm going to probably bounce that way. And I think in a lot of cases that does kind of drive some of the decisions. And I think again, kind of like we were saying earlier, that's one of those things that as a designer, you have to think about and work on to improve, to make yourself that much easier to work with, to make yourself to be one of that type of person where it's like, nah, dude, that guy, hell yeah, I'll work with him. I'll do this with him, because while that may have been that may have been this, at the end of the day, it's going to be a lot easier to work with.
I think one of the other things as far as the vote goes too is I don't think Casey wants to paint himself into that corner where he says, okay, if you get 40%, you're guaranteed to get in.
Yes. All 6 hit 40 then.
I mean, we've already had issues complaining about potential like buying manipulation, all that. Like if you say you get 40 and you're in, well then I mean that's just
Right.
gonna ramp up.
And it's that, it's even worse. And you know, I think, and we've also said it, you know, I've heard it here just, you know, in this hour we've been talking that that Casey's a businessman and he's going to make decisions that are best for his business as well. Absolutely. So along with what you were saying, Blaze, I think some of the decisions also go along with the idea that Casey's going to take a chance on certain designs that he anticipates are going to sell well, because ultimately that's what he wants to do, is drive sales and make sure that the money's coming in. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, I mean, he's a businessman. He wants to have a successful business. I get it. And you know, I'm realistic to understand that sometimes there's going to be stuff that's not going to make it through that I thought was great, you know, or, you know, even having conversations with Casey about fresh colorways and suggesting, you know, a logo. And he's like, oh, I don't know, that didn't really sell that great when it first came out.
Yeah. And, we had that conversation. We had a similar.
Oh my God. But I'm telling him, you know, look, we all talk and we think this is a great one. And that's one in particular I'm talking about, Paco. You know, I mean, that, you know, to me and to us, that's a logo that should sell so like crazy. It's so good, right?
But not only that, sorry, go ahead, Eric.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I was just going to say, but it's just, you know, Casey obviously has a different insight into things in terms of a certain level of information and data about how hats have sold, that he's making a much more educated guess, you know, than we're, you know, as a general consumer perspective giving him credit for, you know.
A lot of the time I always tell Paco and I have this conversation all the time, and I keep saying, and I'll say it 1,000 billion times. I've even said it with Casey, right? I always say there's like all these people, I don't wear an 8. A lot of these people don't realize that he has way more data than we do. We have nothing. Yes. We have all conjecture. We have all ideas, things we think, believe, and etc. And all of them are made out of nowhere, right? The only person who has the data are the people within Clink. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. 3/4, bro. That's why I get everything I want whenever I want it all the time, and I got that. When your head's big enough, bro. When your head's big enough, when you're at that 3/4 though, like 5/8, and 3/4 will put you in that position where you can almost get everything. Yep. Because there's always enough of them, and there aren't that many people who wear them, so you're in good space. The 8s, there's never enough, and then the 7.5, you get screwed. So yeah.
I'm going to ask a question to all of you too. How do you think that there's a large audience of people that are now diehard clinkers that go back through the production tracker and look at earlier stuff and be like, wow, I really wish I could get my hands on that? Because that's how I feel.
Yes.
Because that's me.
Yes.
Because I see Pencil Kong and I'm like, hey,
angry.
You got a 7.5, bud?
Right?
I'm gonna anecdote this, by the way.
Sure.
So Casey, I think the last time I got to hang out with him. So Blaze and I on Leon's show, the one that we were on for I think the year anniversary, we did a 1.0 pack that only 4 people have seen.
That was the first show. That was the first show.
Oh,
not the anniversary. That was the first show.
Oh, holy cow.
First show.
Oh my god.
When we did because we did like the red BP one.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that was the first show.
Okay,
that was the first show.
Whereas only a handful of us have seen this. Casey told me point blank. He said, "You guys, the OGs, put more stock into 1.0 than the general collector
exactly
right now." I kind of honestly agree with that because it's a nostalgia thing for us. But
I did.
I
agreed. I'm always on Paco about that shit, bro.
I might be an outlier considering I'm very fresh into Clink and haven't touched a lot of 2.0, and knowing what some of the 1.0 stuff is and some of the really early stuff, and have seen some of this just like Google searching them. There's a part of me where I'm like, I want it.
I
might be an outlier.
For that pack reorder, he's the one that gave us the 6 logos. We didn't choose those 6
That's
logos.
right.
No,
That's right.
I
know.
know.
You know. Yeah.
But you best believe I'll be pitching that one.
Yes.
Well, there is going to be a rare one coming back for sure. You know, I had a little insight, wink, wink information.
I think I know. Which
Hey, I just want to point out that John is heavy flexing on us right today, right? I don't know if the rest of y'all have noticed that. Yo, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if y'all noticed that he is flexing on us right now.
Oh,
right?
I love it though. I love it. I'm clowning only because he's just flexing on us with heat right now. That's all that is.
Went from the Hat Club Hockey League to
yes. I fucking love it. I fucking love it.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff.
So, Dome, to answer your question, I think early 2.0s, I think we might see some coming up in fresh colorway, like early 2.0s. And I'm sure we will. And I'm sure they'll.
No, you will. I know. You will.
Oh, okay. So basically, Tyler,
I love it.
So, Dome, what you're saying is basically you just did your own pack on early 2.0 design.
I'm not saying anything. Just be excited.
Don't let him pin you. Don't let him pin you in there.
But this definitely needs
a
fresh colorway.
Oh man,
absolutely.
100%.
I still remember when we were.
I'm
not
sure if this was what Dome Pieces was asking, but I think that people who want to submit to the Clink Room should definitely go back and look at what's been through the shop.
I tell people all the time to catch a vibe of something that might do very well is to artistically look at the classics and what characteristics of the classics have done really well. And something that I've noticed is a lot of the classics are kind of simple and straightforward.
Yep.
Or they are
by classics, you mean the ones that get the side patch, right?
Yes, those in particular.
Those are just, it seems like, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong.
Best sellers?
Best sellers.
Those are just the Hall of Fame of that week, and that's just one of 6. So there's a lot of those.
The classics are, I think the classics are best sellers of all time.
Right, they are.
They are.
All time. I'd be curious what the number ends at there, because there's been some classics that were just best sellers of their group that weren't.
Well,
on the top of the list.
let's throw out numbers here real quick. How does everyone feel about all these new releases every week now, and how it's affecting us artists getting our drops on Friday versus all the stuff coming out beforehand?
As a consumer, I love it. By the way, I mean,
it is nice as a consumer, but from the artist perspective, you got to think pre-orders are suffering a little bit because number one, people know they can get it on dead stock, or they have a reasonable assumption.
Right.
But isn't that now we're in that circular? Now we're in that circular argument, though.
That's fine. I'm trying to take the perspective of somebody who's trying to make sales as an artist, which is not my perspective in this case.
No, I feel you. What I'm saying though is I think that becomes that circular argument, because then it becomes, well, at one point people are saying, okay, hey, we did this, we did that, and now why am I not getting there? But then at the same time, part of the reason that you're there is because that's what keeps happening and people keep doing it. So it's almost like on one hand, people are saying, oh, there's more opportunities for people to buy more things, and now I know that they don't have to go out and do it. So that makes it more difficult. I don't agree with that really, because if the design is appealing enough, people are going to buy it on the pre-order.
It will still. There are still some that will jump up there way high.
And it's cheaper. Yeah. Like, I mean, there's going to be plenty of time. Look, I just said it in the chat myself about a couple of the joints that John's been wearing. And it was always like, damn, how the fuck did I miss that? Right. If I had dead stock now for some of those, I'm happy because I can pull those. Or, there are some joints that I've seen that I bought. And then when the fresh colorway comes out, I'm like, fuck, let me hop on here. And then, I might really only be looking to buy one. But then I see another one. I'm like, oh, I'll go ahead and get that too. So I just don't see it as ever being a negative when you have more contact with your constituency, because the more messages that go out, the more sales, the more fresh colorways, dead stocks, et cetera, go out, more people are hitting the site, more people are hitting with the image again, more. That gives more opportunities for people to, if they want to buy it, they're going to buy it.
Yeah. I'd be curious.
I do agree with you, though. I do want to say that, though. I have to say, I do agree with what you're saying as far as there being more variety in how sales can be done. Yes, it changes how how artists are approaching it. Totally. I don't want to act like I don't agree with that, but I had to point out that that's where we end up circling.
What if there was more of a disparity between the pre-order price and the dead stock? So 55 versus 85 or something like that.
The 85 would never sell. The 85 would never sell.
I mean, we're 75 people complain about it, so
exactly. So that's why I'm saying anything that you go above 65, you're never going to get to sell, and it's almost 60, a waste of time.
And even 65 is a bitch. People are complaining.
Yeah. Yes, I'm one of them. So
then it could be true cancellations instead of extra orders, though.
But even then, like at the same time, look, if I go to a site, and I've had this happen plenty of times, you go to a site and you see a dope design, you go to the site and all of a sudden you see the site. I mean, you see the design is $85. I walk the fuck away. I close the window.
Yeah,
I don't need to consider. At that point, I'm done. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It creates a little urgency, which I think could benefit artists, but I'm not sure. As a collector, I like the option to correct a mistake, which I often will. I know many of you have regretted not getting one and going to buy it as soon as it hit. I am totally with that.
Now see where I get stuck.
Samurai ink, Samurai Kong ink.
Is I'm not going to pay like $75 shipped for a hat, but then at the same time, I'm not going to pay $45 either for a mystery hat that I might not end up liking.
Right. Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
I kind of agree, by the way, with the chat. Change ups is one of the best
change ups
Clink Room hats ever.
Facts. Love it. Love it.
So one thing that is I think where we have to expand on too, talking about all these old designs that we want to see redone and recolored potentially, is, and this is a Pandora's box, but how many people that are clamoring for these old designs are going to shy away from them when they're remade because they have a side patch?
Yep.
I'm glad you bring up the side patch conversation.
And it's a tough conversation because I completely understand why Casey does it. He's branding. I get it. Yes. You know, he is branding. He is building the brand and continuing to push it out there, which I totally get. But for the collectors that want to see some of these old designs brought back, we don't want to see it with the side patch.
I think
we want
why we haven't seen them. That's probably why we haven't seen them. Because the old school people that want them seem to be the old school people that don't like the side patches.
I think it's always unique. It's always interesting too, because a lot of the 1.0s that people clamor about and they talk about, a lot of them have what you would really call a side patch. They may not be a gaudy side patch. It may not be a full panel, but it's still a side patch on it. There's still, embroidery done on the sides and whatnot that aren't actually done most of the time now. So it is a difference. I think a lot of the time it is a nostalgia factor, right? Like I got a Challenger, and I know there's tons of people who just cannot believe that there's a chance that it's going to be an EV in a minute, right? And they've never seen it. There's nothing wrong with it, right? But they just don't want it because it's that. I think the side patches kind of lean into that territory where it's like a lot of people just aren't into them. They don't want to fuck with it, and they feel like by adding that side patch, it then tarnishes the design. Then there's folks like me who I couldn't give a shit less, right? If this front hit is fire and the color works, I'm on it. I don't give a fuck about the side, right?
The only thing I would say about that is I wish he would reach out to the artist so that we could design the side patch.
I'm glad you said that.
I do.
I'm glad you said that.
Leon's got info.
I do too.
I have some insight on that. Yeah. My first pack, I obviously wanted to do a 40 pack, and we went back and forth. And New Era has really strict rules at the time. So, like, again, New Era is always changing their rules. So this was during a time when New Era was up everyone's ass about collabing. You wouldn't see any store couldn't say like who worked on the hat and whatever.
Right.
So I mean, stuff might change and things might change in the future, but there was very strict rules at the time where he couldn't make no reference that it was a 40 patch. So it had to be the Clink Room. And then there was like, well, it had to do with a lot of the stuff and elements that he used. So like none of the nunchuck swords and stuff and shooting stars could have worked either. So it's like one of these things where it adds an extra layer of approval.
Yes.
Extra layer of work.
Then you start, like extra layer of work. Then you start getting artists like, oh, well, this guy got it. How come I didn't get it? And all this other stuff.
Damn, how did they sneak the Hive one through?
I'm glad you said that. I was just about to get there.
The Hive front or the Hive side?
The Hive side. The Hive side has the blades.
Yeah. So this is something that I talked to Casey about, and he told me that he gets a lot of pushback for like hat specific side patches, and that New Era wants him to make stuff that's general that he can reuse. It has to have like a general theme, like something like this cherry blossom side patch. Like this is generally like a general theme, something that he can reuse over and over and over again on different Japanese style hats,
or like DC,
obviously, DC stuff.
Yeah.
Or so even I have the classics patch, stuff like this, where it can be pretty. It has a multi-purpose function.
But like for me, like if he reached out to me and said, "Hey, can you do an artist driven like pencil side patch where it could be, I would do it, and then he could use it for whatever. But I have approached him because there's not a lot of hockey themed type hats in the Clink, so I want to do that. And I actually have a really cool side patch, so and it's Clink branded, so that way it could be part of that. But
it'd be similar to
that was my only
hockey league thing.
Yeah, that was my only issue. Was like, man, I wish he would reach out to maybe some of the artists so we can get some. And I don't mind doing.
Well, I think you mentioned on Leon's show that he did that. The side patches they have are done by, I can't remember which artist.
It's like Jacobo.
Sarah Sexton, right?
Sarah Sexton did a lot of them.
So I mean, like he did do that. I do like that there were two that seemed like specific to certain hats. I don't like that they genericized the Hive one. It's going to happen with the Catalina one. I get what they're saying there. We can't change patches there, but what about on pre-orders? Because they decided to put it on some. Couldn't we do a yes or no to the patch like we did with a couple of hats?
I just be worried about
I asked Casey about that, and he said no, the logistics are too hard. Yeah. But I think Leon just pointed out the warehouse is probably a bigger issue, because just think about it. I think all of us have had a wrong hat show up in our box once before, at least. And a ton of people have had that happen before. Just imagine if you've got two of the same hat, one with a side patch and one without, how many mistakes you're going to have.
Yeah, that's a headache.
I mean, that's such a headache. Yeah. What if they did something like what Leon did with the Capologist, like the horror series, where like you could take.
No one's going to want to do that though.
No, that's too much work, too much time, too much money.
You charge $65 and then the side patches come separately. No, hell no. Right. I mean, I like the idea. I like the sentiment, but like the thing that is true though is like you do one thing, you're gonna piss off one side.
Yeah.
Don't do the other thing, it's gonna piss off the other side. So I think the thing was for the longest time there was no side patches. I mean, you had the pencil and the original stuff. I don't really count that, but like for the longest time, that was a bridge he didn't want to cross, and eventually, he did it, and he did it for a business reason. He did mention to me like moving forward, there's not going to be as many. So like, but like that change has to happen. That's not an instant change. That's not.
They've already ordered. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, like just use my pack. Part 2 came out last week. I submitted that last year. Mm-hmm. He didn't submit that till early this year. They didn't arrive till summer. So there's all these things have to happen. When we originally mocked those things up, the patches just got approved. So I was like, all excited. Like, yeah, I'm going to use this fucking patch. No one's ever going to use it. But meanwhile, we had like 9 months of other patches coming out. Now it looks like I'm just jumping on a trend. But, that's part of the game. And a lot of the changes aren't fast.
There are two things historically with this. So for those of you that were around, Casey did an exclusive interview with Pierre and Leon on Views from the Vault. And he was specifically asked about side patches. At that point in time, he said there are no current plans to do side patches, and everybody took that to be there's never going to happen. That's not what he said.
Right.
The second thing about it is we have to also recognize the MLB trend is about dead. People aren't really buying MLB. You don't really see the 30-second sellouts that we saw.
Oh, yeah. Right. It's going to be NHL and AHL now.
Oh, yeah.
I've been hearing that a lot.
Panic.
For now, but Clink is like the long-term option because it's always.
It is. Yeah. I try to convert so many people constantly.
They don't, but see, they don't understand, right? Until it starts hitting, and
until they get the first Clink in hand, no one understands.
Right. And with the influx of people like that, we'll continue to see demand for patches. But I think eventually, if it's not selling, it's going to go back. So that's all.
Agreed.
If you don't like it, don't buy it. It definitely saves me some money, but it's not going to stop me if I really want to have it.
Look, and the people who don't like side patches are going to be the loudest about it. Like you got to think, like Clink has what 50, 60, 70,000 followers who aren't complaining about patches. So, and they're obviously still being purchased. So,
That's fair. Yeah, it's a fair point.
If the front's banging and it's a great colorway, who cares at the end of the day?
Right.
This is all that matters. I like the side patches. I'm not gonna lie. That's a me thing. I like them. I think it adds.
I don't dislike them.
And they definitely have grown on me, to the point where it's not going to affect my decision, unless my only thing that stops me from buying something with side patch is if it's huge. If it's bigger than the front logo, I'm done. I just can't do it.
The classics,
I love how that fits. I mean,
and the other thing too,
if it's too big, it's just not going to work.
The other thing too with branding, and you brought this up too, is like he's trying to brand. It's actually awesome for me because whenever I wear any of my Clink fitteds that have like the Clink Room branding on them on the side patch, because people ask me, because I wear them on set. I have people ask me that, people and guys that I work with on set, they're like, "Hey, that's really cool. What is that?" And I get to take it off and be like, "It's from the Clink Room." It makes it really easy for me to kind of show them and tell them exactly what it is and where it comes from. So like I wear the classics on set all the time. Like I've been wearing Apollos like all the time. And I was wearing Rocket Pop the other day. And I had the stunt coordinator ask me. He was like, "Hey, that's really sick. Where'd you get that?" And I was like, "Dude, check it out, man. The Clink Room." So
let me tell you about it.
let me tell you something.
I'm wondering how many of them followers. I mean, that is a good.
I think we're all wondering that.
I think it's a good counterpoint to the argument that they're still. I think the core foundation are the majority of the buyers. It seems like. I mean, from selling hats and looking at the numbers, a good one is over 300. I mean, we could probably all of us name like 100 people that we know that are in the Clink. Those are probably the people buying them.
I mean, even if he gets a 5% conversion, which is pretty decent on the follower count on Instagram, a 5% conversion from 75,000 ends up being around 3,000 people. If he has 3,000 people roughly buying every month, even if it's just one, like that's
fair enough.
Still phenomenal numbers. Still phenomenal numbers.
And I think that's why, I remember in the past before, like we'd say, why is he putting up 6 every single week, every week in, week out? Obviously, he has the sales to support it.
Yeah. Right. That's why I always go back to the data thing, right? And I mean, some of it's just because I'm a nerd and that's what I do. But for me, it's always everything everybody's saying is conjecture. The only thing that really drives any of this is going to be the data, and none of us have that data. The only people that have, and I'll just use Clink, and in the collective phrase, but the only people that have that data is Clink. Everything we're saying is all conjecture, all our beliefs, all our thoughts, the things that we're creating out of nowhere. We have really no data by which to create it. You know what I'm saying? We don't have anything to say, okay, like even the numbers that we keep popping up, right? All of it's made up. We're all making it up because we don't know. And I think that's the allure of it also, right? Because we don't know. That's what makes it a little more mysterious, because we all think, oh, it's got to be this. And then people start having those different conversations. And I think that also drives people's attention. It's dope. Yeah. Hey, I like your hat, Paco. That's dope.
Hey, Paco, give me that hat.
Might have to get one, bro.
You put it on, and I was like, I don't know what Blaze is saying anymore.
Well,
right? I blabbed myself.
I got my.
Oh, he's flexing.
He about to flex, bro. He about to
I'm
flex.
sorry. I brought it on.
I got a bunch of 1.0 right here. So
see, I just happen to. I'm not in a room anywhere near where any of my hats are. So much so that when I got on the show, I didn't even have a hat on. And I went in the other room and I happen to have one like downstairs. But like I legitimately, if I can't do that, like Paco, Paco can just go like me, I can't do that. Yeah, if I go upstairs and it's a whole different ballgame, I'd probably pull out some of the encrypted stuff. Like, I mean, I know a lot of people say, the Clink 1.0s and et cetera, but when you pull out the encrypted, anytime I walk in a hat club, I can spend like 10 minutes with people going, "Oh my God, where the fuck did you get that? Let me get that." I'm like, and all it is, it's one of the encrypted joints. And yeah, they're about as 1.0 as you get.
I just love some of those old lives where someone would be like, "I love that cork bottom," and Paco would just be like, "Here it is."
Right? Hell yeah.
Talk about selling out. This thing sold out in 25 seconds, 30 seconds.
Bro, it was so fast. Like legit, look, I'm gonna toot my own horn again about that 3/4 shit. I legitimately I got every single one of the Hat Club Hockey League hats, all of them. And I swear to God, as soon as I hit, submit and everything went through and it was like, "Yeah, thank you for your money," every single time everything was sold out. So they were all selling out in minutes. And I remember that one partly because I knew John made it, right? But when I went to get it, I was gonna try to pop back and get another one, and it didn't happen.
That was
Never.
Always the mistake. Always the mistake of the Hat Club experience back then.
Man.
Trying to get another.
Man.
And it's so funny. It's like thinking about the hockey league and
that question.
And how badly it was getting drugged by the
cool guys.
I don't. Yes,
the Saved by the Bell guys. Yeah, Saved by the Bell guys. Yeah, we're cool guys. We got hats, guys. Look at us, guys.
We know hats because our history started in 2020, and they all sold out.
Man,
there are only 2 designs that didn't sell out. So,
but a lot of those guys would be like, "Oh, it took a minute and 27 seconds for those to sell out. That's terrible. Those are trash.
Yeah. Those are trash. It took a whole minute and a half. That's garbage. If it was really hot, it would be gone in a minute. Like, dude, shut up. Go sit down somewhere." I do want to answer that question. What does
I was just about to say we need to address that.
I may have some time to run up here and grab a couple, but. There we go. I knew Paco was going to come through for me. So, so Brandiose and Hat Club did a series of hats together that not necessarily predated Clink, but it was kind of I would call it like Clink 1.5, right? So the 1.0s were out there. Things were like whatever. And yes, they were all designed by Brandiose. There were certain designs, mostly West Coast-ish, I'll say, designs. Some of the designs were regionally based or whatever. And so I think there was like 15 of them. And they're all just impeccable and crazy designs. But we did some stuff for them in that situation that didn't actually end up releasing in the way it was going to originally. Right. But yeah, all it is just it was a collaboration between Brandiose and Hat Club that was called Encrypted. They were very unique designs. The embroidery on them is probably not even touched. Like the Cobra Clutch hat is easily one of the best embroidered hats that I've seen in bar none, right? It had the metallic, it had everything it had raised, it had all the things that we all like clamor about now. And at the time, you would hardly ever see that on anything that was, a unique custom type of design. But they're fantastic. You can't find them anywhere. Yeah, there we go. That's one.
What about Leon's question?
Oh, I didn't see it.
Ooh. Does the artist affect whether or not you buy a hat?
I think not for me.
You don't have any favorites. You don't have any that you're like, if this person releases one, I'm in.
Let's go around the horn. Let's go around the horn. Let's go with Paco. Paco, what do you feel about that?
The artist?
Yeah.
Yes, actually, it kind of does. Like, for example, it does not influence me more negatively, but if I see 40 dropped a hat, I am definitely considering
or Casey, you gotta always think.
Yes, if Casey drops a hat, best believe I'm at least highly considering it.
Yeah. How about you, Aaron?
It's same answer as Paco. It never influences me negatively, but positively, most definitely. Like when Austin was dropping designs regularly, I was in on every Austin design. Same with 40. So yes, it'll definitely make me lean, to getting somebody. But I've never had a design where I've looked at it and said, "Oh, that's kind of cool," and then looked at the artist and said, maybe not.
Yeah.
That definitely doesn't have an effect.
How about the quiet guys on the bottom there? Let's give them a chance to talk.
Let them chat.
For me, it's not the artist. Really, it's just the hat. The more personal it is. Like this one's the Arizona themed one. I'm from Arizona, so as long as it's some personal, something that I like, that's what I go to for sure.
Dope.
Yeah, same. If it's hot, it's hot. It's if it's something that means something to me, or something, just how it is. Yeah,
no, that's good.
The design speaks to you first.
Yeah,
exactly.
So that. Yeah.
Wait, who's that? Is that Carlos?
No,
Point Exco.
Point
X.
Oh, nice.
Our guy Point X.
Are you from?
Oh no, shit, you're from Arizona, bro?
Yeah, I'm born and raised.
Oh fuck yeah! Right on.
What?
Right on.
Too many people from Arizona in here.
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. That's crazy.
We got
That's
three
crazy.
Arizona peeps in here.
Look
Is
at
it
that
fucked up
shit.
that I knew who he was talking about? Is that
I'm a big
I
fan
mean,
of
he
the
It's a
story.
fucking shame, yeah, because we all do.
Carlos a little bit, but
man? That
That's so
I feel
dope. That's
bad
dope.
now. All right.
That's very dope.
no, it's all good. All right. Well, I think everyone kind of feels the same way. Like,
I will throw it out there. Like, if there's an artist who's kind of proven himself to be a douche nozzle, I'm probably not going to buy that.
I love it. I love it. Keep it a buck right there, bro. Keep it a buck.
I like that
Let's
he
go.
said that. There's a
I love
couple
it.
that I won't buy. Yeah, there's a couple I won't.
Yeah, I'm with Big Flies. I just put that up there too. I could. Like, I will say, I guess that's where I kind of agree with you guys, but I think I'd take it a little different. Like, if I see that Casey dropped a joint, I'm probably gonna pay attention a little more.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest, most of the time I don't even look at who designs it until after. Like, if I like the design, I like the design. That's where I'm already hitting, add to cart at that point, right? And then I say, oh shit, that's a Casey. No, duh. Or like with Phil, like anything Phil drops, I'm always like, oh shit, I'm like on it, right?
Yeah,
Same type of thing. But I don't think I actually like go, oh, it's him.
I will say I agree across the board with everybody of like it affects things more positively where I'll see somebody that I love, like 40 and Phil. Phil has been growing on me more and more lately because I see how his art style lends so well to embroidery. And once you kind of catch a vibe and you pick up a couple pieces from a specific artist and you see that they come out really good consistently because their art style lends to embroidery really well, then after a while you just see their name pop up and you're like, oh, of course I'm going to buy this because I already know it's going to come out crazy.
Auto flex.
Yeah.
I see you, Paco. I see you flexing.
What you got, Paco? Oh man.
Ooh, I see you flexing, fam. I see you flexing.
You know what?
That's that OG Clink Kong shit right there.
That's dope.
This you could have walked into Hat Club and purchased.
So cool.
That's wild.
So I will say the deal breaker for me, and we'll go around the horn on this one, is if I'm sorry guys, but I'm gonna bring it up. AI. If it was AI and I know it was AI, I'm not, even if it makes it to production, I'm not for it.
Right.
It's one of those things, like AI does have some great uses, but I think
that ain't
Clink, yeah, if Clink, listen, I'm an artist. All these guys in here draw, and I know because I've seen AI, that's a deal breaker for me. You know what I mean? So that's my deal breaker. That might not be everyone's, but that's kind of mine.
I tell people, I've had people hit me up being like, hey, how do I get into Clink? And I always tell them, no AI,
thank you,
no protected intellectual properties, has to be all original artwork, and also no firearms. Those are usually the four things that I tell them is those four. Because I've had people straight up be like, yeah, dude, I want to cook up. I think I'm going to bust out some AI. And I was like, don't do that.
The weed design.
Yeah. So what's your deal breaker when it comes to like colors or buttons?
Colors are huge for me because I'm not a bright colorway person, and I've actually sold a lot of my hats that are in a bright colorway just because I can't really pull them off. It's one of those like, hey, it seemed like a good idea at the time. I'll give you two that I've shied away from, and they're both yellow. Number one was Good Chucks.
Okay.
Yellow's hard.
Number
yellow is hard.
Was the Crash Test Dummy one.
I love that one.
Oh yeah, that one's awesome.
It's so sick.
The under
yellow
on
on a UV, yellow on a brim. I can't really do a yellow crown except for the boombox one, the boombox exploding one.
Yeah.
That was more of a golden type color. I was okay with that.
I'm on the opposite end. I love bright colors. So.
Okay. So what about you, Style? What's your deal breaker?
I'm not doing like any animals that I think are gross. So like I'm not putting a rodent on my head. I'm not doing anything like that.
I love it.
Scared of bugs.
See, he's not gonna do the trash cows then, because that's a
that's a sliding ass raccoon.
How you point? What's your deal breaker?
Honestly, like for me, I don't know why you guys might not agree with me, but cars, like I just don't do cars on hats for some reason.
No,
fair enough.
Fair enough, bro.
Fair, yeah.
Fair enough. That's
anybody else? Anybody else got any deal breakers?
I can
Mine's
list
weird.
I
features.
agree with the AI point.
I think mine's just non-tonal eyelets.
See, and mine is weird. I can't stand gray visors. I don't know why.
Oh, really? Like a gray brand?
Like a
we
gray
talked
UV.
about the turquoise.
That's
Yeah,
wild.
gray UV.
Oh,
is
that's
great.
right.
A gray UV is fine, but a gray visor, I'm out. I don't
That's
know what it is,
crazy.
but it's just an instant turn off for me. I don't know why. I don't know why.
I'm not too big on the food hats. I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm like, I have Maze God, but that's not. I mean, I guess it's a food hat, but
Corn, but it's not. It's not. It's really not. I wouldn't call it a food hat.
Right.
You're talking like a walking taco or something like that.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I just.
No, that's okay.
I don't know. But I've had different styles grow on me in different ways all the time. So I used to be all black hats. Now it's more in the middle, and I'm just now starting to feel the brighter colors.
Yeah. Well,
You
this
gotta
one
make
I did for I can't even think of his name now. It's been a minute. But he did it like it's like a bright pink.
It's like the
Infrared.
strawberry.
It's like
It's
lava.
infrared.
It's like infrared.
It's infrared. Yeah, it's Nike's infrared.
And it's a two-tone. Is that a two-tone?
No.
Oh, it looked. Oh, it's mono. It looked with the
I thought it
lighting.
was
It looked like a two-tone. I was like,
No,
whoa.
it's mono.
Oh, somebody just asked a really good question. Oh, I'll add one to mine.
Go for it.
I don't do skulls. I don't do reapers. I don't do. I'm very particular about those particular designs. The only skull I think I have in my collection is Golgotha.
Okay.
The only reaper you ever need is killing time.
The only reaper I ever need is the original Reaper Kong, if I can ever get a hold of it.
Right.
All right. So before we tackle this one, I don't think. So here's the thing with AI, and I wanted to get this nuanced question out before. So shout out to Ian for talking about it, because okay, so there's two things here. So number one, as an artist, the difference between using a reference photo for something like an animal versus getting a computer program to generate the image you want and then tracing over that. I don't know. I'm not an artist. I can't draw for shit. So what is the difference first and foremost for that? I guess John, I'll put that to John first. You're the most experienced artist on the panel right now. And then what are some of the things you would look for to kind of, because honestly, we don't know which ones. We don't for sure know. We can guess, but I guess John, how would you handle it?
It's pretty obvious. It's pretty obvious when anybody that's who was it that put an AI in our Discord and it was kind of like a joke. Who was that?
Oh, that was me.
Yeah, it was. There you go. It was Soundwave. Yeah. So, but it was funny because it was a Reaper. But you can tell the difference because you have a unique style. So, but when you go outside that style, because AI does the same thing across the board. It doesn't.
Yep.
It's always the same.
It's procedural. It's procedural.
Right. And the way you tell with AI is it usually puts. Hold on. My dogs are going crazy. Let's give it to Soundwave because he's used it. Yeah. Let my dogs come down. Go ahead, Soundwave.
Explain what happens, Soundwave.
I mean, I'm still fairly new at it, but like he was saying, there's a certain tell, like the way it shades, the way it draws. There's just a certain thing within the art itself that's very telling. And even if you don't use AI, like if it looks like it's been drawn by a computer, it's just a turnoff for me. But with Adobe Illustrator, they have the AI graphic generator, so you can just do your little prompts.
It's built in it, yeah.
Generative feel.
Just like that.
Everyone has one now.
So look, when you generate this, the AI, it puts in a bunch of different highlights and lowlights and all this stuff, a bunch of stuff that's not necessary, especially for what we're doing. So when you see art like that come through, you're like, okay, that's AI.
That's the biggest tell. Yeah, that's the
another
biggest
way
tell.
you could tell. Okay, so if Phil puts something up, how many of us know it's Phil? We all know it's Phil, right?
Yeah, right. Yes.
If Sound puts something up, or if I put something up, or
We all
Point
know.
put something up, we all know, right? So a style is very specific to people, right? So when someone has a specific style, and then all of a sudden it's this elaborate piece, you're like, how did they get to from A to B when you've never seen anything in between?
Right.
And it's,
So
it's beyond having a different art style. Like it's
right.
It's just,
Right.
Well,
So
that's how you end up with like 6 fingers and an extra arm randomly sticking out of the back.
Right.
It's like, as an artist, you've been doing this your whole life, and you've learned to make choices to achieve what you are seeing in your head. So to even just trace images, to me, is just as bad as using AI, because you're
I
not
agree.
you're not truly creating anything when you trace. Like you're just piecing together what's already there, and that's what AI is doing.
You're stealing.
It's doing it in a nanosecond versus you taking the time to trace it yourself. That doesn't make it original. Piecing together AI components doesn't make it original.
Right.
Like,
and I think that happens as well. I mean, I in the past, I've been commissioned to kind of be the plagiarizer for Clink, like go, because I've seen it all. If something I look at and go, I've seen that before. And unfortunately, I've had to call out a few artists for Casey, and I'm like, dude, this is not original. I found the original art. And so Casey then has to deal with it. But he kind of commissioned me to do that because he knows I've pretty much seen everything. So when I see something and it hits a bell for me, I'm like, I've seen that before. So I know it's either AI now or
stolen.
So those are kind of like for me, but I mean, somewhat like the average consumer just sees a really cool piece of art and they're like, I like that. And unfortunately, some of the ones that we feel, and as a community that's AI, get great votes for one reason or another. So, I think that's something as artists ourselves, we have to keep being genuine and just kind of educating. But I wish Clink would come out and be and those that are using AI, hey, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. Label it. Let the consumer decide if they want to use an AI generated piece of art or if they're going to use something that's original. That's all I say. Don't hide the fact that you're doing it, because most artists know that you are.
But then almost comes the question, like, do they deserve 10% of the sales for generating AI artwork and that a computer did the work for?
That's a great question.
Me who just spent 2 hours doing it.
Right.
So here's my thing, like, because I feel like if you're using AI, it's probably because you can't draw, right?
Exactly.
And like, I've had no problems just reaching out to artists, getting to know artists, and like collaborating with different artists. And I'm not gonna get the full 10% or whatever, but like, usually we can work out something to where I am still getting at least something out of it. So it's like, just be part of the community and get to know artists and get to know people and their specific styles, so that who your concept is going to work best with, and just actually be part of the community instead of trying to use some AI to get your artwork through.
I tell that to people all the time. I did it with Soundwave. Not to cut you off, but I did it with Soundwave. I pitched him an idea, and then he came back to me with something incredible. And I tell guys all the time, like, hey, if you can't draw, I can't draw. I'm like Leon. I can't draw. Go follow all the Clinkers. Go on the website. Go to the pre-order page. Their Instagram profiles are there. Kind of catch a vibe for somebody that you like, and just go talk to them and go participate in the community, and just be like, hey, I like what you do. I love your art style. I think this would look really cool. I have this idea, and I think it would look really cool in your art style. And sometimes that's all it takes.
That goes with new artists.
Clink really.
I've had some people reach out to me and just ask like what my process is, and for anybody that's new, don't be afraid to reach out to any artist. Right?
I tell everybody the Clinkers are so nice.
Yeah, for the most part, like for the most part, most. I mean, if they're not, don't work with them. It's just that simple. Yeah.
So
exactly.
For those of you who don't know, Chad is
Chad's amazing too.
OG as it gets Not a single person accuse him of AI. He has literally designed one of the most iconic logos in all of fitted hat history. And for those of you who don't know, he's the one who did the original chief that the skull chief is based off of.
Sick.
Period.
Yeah,
Like,
Chad's a legend, man.
Pow.
Yeah, so as going back to the whole AI question, you know, it's just important that we educate the community. Chad brings up a good point. You know, I don't feel like calling anybody out per se. You know what I mean? I don't think that's constructive.
No.
For sure. Yeah. All of us know who we're talking about.
Just state the fact of what the programs do.
Basically, the programs you put in the parameter of what you want, and it draws it for you. That's it.
No, I was talking about I thought you said what Chad said. It's about he's got receipts essentially, because Procreate and Fresco, they automatically record your work. You can't opt out of it. It records your screen. You can opt out after you start a new project. So that's why I tell people, I'm like, guys, it's not that hard. If you're telling me you use Procreate, just show me the video that it makes of you drawing. And
exactly.
How, that meth head dude who came in real hard. He was like, I don't know anything about her video.
He said a name. Damn it.
And then he was real hard in on it, not having a video thing. And I'm like, bro, it automatically does it for you.
That shit's common.
You have to turn it off. Every time you create a new artboard or a new document, it starts recording. So I'm like, that's why I when I throw out the word clip art a lot, is I just describe stuff that's too detailed. People are like, someone's like, oh, what about you did something that looked like clip art? And I'm like, I got receipts, man. I don't care what you say, because every project I've ever done has been recorded. So
yeah, I mean that's. I almost wish to be able to get into Clink, you have to provide a time relapse. Almost it's like your rite of passage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, here's a little time. All of us can do it. I mean, it's not that hard. Or here's my sketches. Take snapshots of your process. Whatever it is. I think that would eliminate. And as artists, we should do that and continue to do that. Like Chad does it. I think sound, you do that already. You got some time relapse stuff.
So does Milos.
People don't realize too, even artists that have done the 10,000 hours like us, we realize the difference between sketches and tracings too.
Right.
I don't. It's just one of those things you've done it so long your entire life. Actually, when I started drawing, I was 4. Seriously, I took it serious, and to have done that now throughout my whole life, it's you just know it's just another muscle in your brain.
Yeah.
You just see it and you know that's not how sketches look. That's how traces look.
Right.
And you just see that's not how original artwork looks. That's not a designer didn't sit there and make those decisions. A robot did, and it used the most basic ways to accomplish it, shading especially. You see a lot of those lines that go to points.
Just because it's procedural,
I think it's the most basic way to shade something.
It's procedural
in a vector format.
I think another thing that we have to
won't even do that because they'll use color to shade.
Right.
I think another thing we have to be aware of is we can't be as broad as just saying using AI, right? Because what ends up happening, and I know the distinction. So what happens is a lot of these dudes will say, "Oh, well, I used it for an idea because I needed to get the structure of the idea." And then to your point, they'll go, "Oh, that was my reference." And so then it's all right. So if it was your reference, then you still drew it. So you still should be able to show us all of the actual details that you took to get there. And I think what we've done sometimes is we get lazy about, oh, it's AI, and we just say that, and then everyone kind of lumps a way out of it. The reality is, who cares if they use it as a reference? But your design, the actual artistry, should be from your hand.
Yeah.
Whether you use it as a reference, I can give a shit. Yeah.
Your art style is still going to shine through if it's only a reference.
Exactly.
If that's what you're truly telling me, I generated this composition because I couldn't truly piece it together in my head or on paper, and I use it as a reference, your art style is still going to come through because what you generated is not in your style.
Exactly.
100%.
Exactly.
So if you're telling me that's truly what you did, then it's never going to be a question, really.
I agree, 100%.
Like, there definitely is like sometimes your AI is like, it's okay as long as it's not the end piece.
Yeah, as long as driving the idea. I'll give you a good example. Me myself, I'm close, probably closer to Leon than I am any of the rest of y'all on here, right? And I mean closer in terms of art skill. So I mean, because he's literally on the other side of the world. No, in seriousness though, I've literally done an AI. You know, I do a lot of AI outside of this designing and stuff. So I've done AI references for the purpose that John just mentioned. Is once you understand it, then you start to pick it apart. You can see it, even if you're not, a classically trained professional like some of you guys, right? I can pick it off like nothing because it is procedural. It is literally washing layers upon layers based on thousands and millions of gigabytes of data. And that's apparent, very apparent, and like you said, it's muscle memory. As an artist, how you draw, the way you hold your hand affects how some things show up. And so, it's easy to tell that difference, but I don't want us to get so lazy that we start going and giving people outs with AI, right? We say, well, you did that with AI. And they say, no, I didn't. I actually did this reference and then I drew it and then it looked like this. And then I had someone help me. And, then we start giving people excuses. I think the biggest issue is, like you said, making sure that the stuff that people are doing, that the final pass is ultimately from their hand. Anything you do behind that, before that and all that, whatever. I don't care where you got the reference from. But it's got to be, the end result really does need to be from your hand.
That's why you got to develop a style.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, answering. So I'll get into that, like with what we do, with what Blaze and I do. But Ian was asking if there have been actually produced hats from AI.
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm sure. I have no idea.
I'm sure there is.
But I mean, I can tell you for what Blaze and I do, I have, even though like we have done so many different styles, I can tell you I have a signature sound. Blaze knows it. Anybody listening to anything that I've ever done knows it. If I were to just go do, like, if I were to go jump on cassette.ai and say, make me a golden era boom bap beat, and I submit that in, people are going to know it ain't me.
Yes.
Like, because I don't produce like that. Have I used elements of so-called AI? Yes, because AI also allows me to take a full track. If I wanted to go upload George Benson's Breezing and say I want the drums out of that, it allows me to do that.
And again, AI is a good tool.
It's a great tool, but it should never be the final.
Right, the end product. And I feel there's been some submissions where it's just laziness, just flat out blatant AI, and that's kind of where where we as artists have to just keep doing our due diligence like we're doing.
But I don't think those should be called out publicly per se, at least not in this environment, which I don't think is.
No, we're not the judge, jury, and execution.
No, we're not, and ultimately we are not the final decision of what goes to crits, what goes up, and what goes in the shop. We're not. Yeah. So with that shit, I defer to you guys. Yeah. Like, y'all are the experts.
Well, I let Casey know. I'm like, I'll let him know, and I'm gonna keep letting him know.
Good.
I think the other thing is we all look suspect at those. Some of those are just instantly suspect. We all look at them and we go, something ain't right. Something ain't right. And I'm glad we do that. And I think it's important that we continue to police the bullshit that comes through, because it is the part that we do control, right? If we all are ranting and raving against some shit, Casey's going to take notice. He's not going to just be like, fuck y'all, I got this money to make. If we're all, and again, because we're all professionals, and these are people, a ton of people that he respects and respects their, their opinion, their knowledge, etc. He's going to take that, and that's why it's important for us to continue to, to drive that home. Like, hey, bullshit is bullshit. Still, we're not going for it.
Right. You got to vote with your dollar.
Well, and I gotta say, like, even Don was like really on point with calling out some plagiarism shit.
Yeah.
Like really on point with it.
Yeah, that happens.
I love that shit. I love that
like
shit.
Well, you know what? I think like Paco, your platform is a good one to, you and you guys have some good opportunities. Leon here has some good opportunities with crits. So I think, as we see it, we need to call it out, or at least let Casey know. And again, if at the end of the day, if he doesn't care if it's AI, then that's on him.
Right.
But for me, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to make sure everything I do is authentic.
Yeah.
Well, that's why you have to have a style to touch back on it. So like with having a specific art style, I was talking about this on Crits when I was coming up on Mondays regularly with you, Donnie. I talked about having a style of how like someone like Phil, like you could take 6 Clink hats and one of them is Phil Hauser's and I'd be able to pick it out. I'd be like, that's Phil Hauser. Like you can tell. Same thing with Clifton and a bunch of other guys too, where there's a specific design style. I think another one that comes to mind is Flanagan. Like Flanagan has a very specific art style.
I think many, if not all, those guys are capable of doing other stuff.
For sure.
I missed a lot of the discussion, but
it's not about having like different styles in the sense of like different themes or like different approaches. No matter what, you can just tell it's the way that they draw fundamentally. It's the way they produce art fundamentally. Like they could do just about anything and you can still look at it and be like, oh, that's Flanagan, or be like, oh, that's Clifton, that's Ink Park. Like you can tell.
Was it touched on in the fact that the AI anecdotally at least seems to be the most popular with people, most because
it's more it's bright and shiny, right? Because it has all the layers.
The dangerous part with it.
It hits all the points.
Layers. It has all the highlights.
And it hits all the points that they want, that the eye wants, because it's easy.
But it doesn't embroider. Like at the end of the day, that's not going to embroider.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So, behind the scenes, Casey has to take all that stuff out and make it so that it can embroider, because AI doesn't do embroidery. It doesn't. No. You can't say, "Oh, do embroidery." No, it just does. Like I think you had said it, where it's just like bang, bang. It's
passes of data. Yeah, it's just passes of data. Multiple passes of data on
multiple layers of color, multiple highlight, everything. So it's not print. It's print ready, but it's not embroidery ready.
So John, the other thing too is it's not vector based. It's all raster based.
Right.
So whenever you see someone submitting stuff and you see like the little fountain edges, like that's just someone not using vector based software. Which vector-based means like Illustrator uses a formula to constantly recalculate your pixel count, so it gives you the smoothest edge possible on any given device.
Yeah.
Raster is all DPI. It's all
Photoshop, all those kind of programs.
Yep.
So that's
you have to be careful too, though. You have to be careful too about the application, because in some cases you have users who, or designers, drawers, and artists who aren't as familiar with the technology. So a lot of them do start in Photoshop and raster based designs, and then they learn, right? And so again, it comes back to the same thing. Yeah.
The first thing they learn is to carry it into Illustrator and use Live Trace.
Right.
Which
that's the original AI.
That's what I was going to say. I was like, hey, I'm guilty. So
Which that has all its own telltale signs of like.
Oh, you can tell when someone does auto trace. Time.
Oh, super easy.
Other thing I just want to throw out there with playing the plagiarism card too. It's like we also have to be careful, because I got called out for plagiarism, and my design got taken out of the store.
Oh yeah,
and it was selling really well.
Oh no!
And I messaged Casey. I go, Casey, here's my receipts, man. And he goes, well, I already took it out of the store. I can't,
That sucks, man.
And I go,
it wasn't me. By the way. It wasn't me.
So what?
I said it wasn't me that did it.
No, I know who it was. It's okay.
Yeah, we know who it was.
Yeah, and I go to him. I go, look, why did this start a discussion as opposed to a prosecution? I'm like, you. And then he goes, you have a strike against you, and this and that. And I'm like, holy shit, dude. And I replied, I go, dude, this should have been a discussion. Here's my work. The only issue was that the phrase was too similar to someone used on a T-shirt. It was make it, fake it till you make it. But I go, look, that's a universally used term. Like, no one owns that term. Like, that's what we named it.
It was just for a cute name.
Yeah, and I'm like, can't we just change the name and put it back on the store? He goes, I already took it down. And
I think the real kick in the balls was the following week was one that you could find on any like Hawaiian.
The Shaka. Yeah.
Like, I do not. I'm still like dumbfounded how that even got in the shop.
Well, I think it's because he regretted his decision about taking the possum down and didn't want to act too swiftly.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's what sucks about, like, you got to be real sure when you point a finger at someone, because, like, I don't know, man. I wish people would go to each other first,
right?
Yep.
And then, like, hey, let me prove my point to you first, and then if you're still not, you don't believe me for me showing you a video of me doing the whole design from scratch that had my reference photo.
All right, so let me play devil's advocate though. So that works perfectly for an AI situation. It does not work perfectly for a situation in which someone is accusing you of basically biting, right? And now, great. In a design, it's easy to say, okay, I had this, I saw this, I didn't see this, I didn't use it. But you drawing it doesn't mean you didn't come up with the idea from another idea. And I'm not saying that's what you did. I'm simply saying that's the situation where it is more difficult, and it does require a different type of consideration, because how do you know? Like, you could easily have gotten, taken a design, saw the design, you're talented enough to draw it. And so then you say, well, here's what I drew. Here's what I drew. Well, that doesn't say that you didn't necessarily take it from something or get it from something. Again, I'm playing devil's advocate because as a businessman, I'm going to err on the side of caution. 100%.
Either way, there needs to be consistency in like repercussions and response.
Like,
how do you consistently? Hold on a second. How do you consistently respond to an accusation that something is stolen? And then, now, secondly, before I finish the question, how do you consistently respond to an accusation of AI?
Well, I think
because again, you can say consistent.
The stolen one, the stolen one is easier because somebody can show you a reference that it's stolen from.
Okay, so you just proved it. Now, here's my thing, though. You just said why I said what I said to RE, in that there is no way for you to prove to me that you didn't steal it. What you just said would result in what he just experienced, which is exactly that. So my point is, again, how can you consistently approach that?
This was based on the name solely. It wasn't based on
I get that. Let's not focus on the singular situation. What I mean is, ultimately, how else? Yeah, it's the same route, because how do you then verify that it wasn't stolen?
I'm saying I drew it. Shouldn't the course of action be the same for two fitting the same criteria?
I would, and then here's my question: where did the criteria come from? Meaning, where were you notified? Right. So let's say in the one instance, like we just mentioned, some people took it upon themselves to be D1 haters, and then they started whining and they reported it. On the other hand, we all just kind of acknowledged that we were like, "Why did this happen?" But none of us did the same thing.
Oh, the other one got reported. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the only thing I'm saying is, like, how do we then are setting up, okay, here's the reporting process, here's what's required in order to be reported, here's what, here's the criteria, and we're back to the same thing that we went through about the votes.
So I'll go back. I'll just give you my instance of when I was doing it before, and if I see something, that I know has been, so what I do is I get the picture and I send it to Casey and I go, hey, this is it. This is the art. You do with what you want with it. Casey then reaches out to the artist.
There you go.
And says, hey, what's going on? You need to stop doing this, and you need to make he gives them an opportunity. He does.
Right.
And if
in this case, we literally woke up.
No, you guys. I think your guys' situation is different for sure.
I think that's a unique situation at that. Right. And I think what Ink Park's getting at is the point where, yes, there is a structure of which, if this gets reported, here's what the next steps are. Now, again, I go back to the same thing as at the very beginning of this show. There's no such thing as perfection. and these are humans.
Sure.
And depending on, Casey could have got up and hadn't had his coffee yet, and some motherfucker's blowing up his, inbox complaining, right? And then some other day he's sitting there smoking a blunt, and dude's like, "Hey, there's a problem." It's like, it's whatever. I'm just still saying that, ultimately there is a standard, so to speak. It's still unfortunately kind of, left up to people. And if you take that people part out of it, we're right back in the same position we were about the votes, where people are going to start using that as how they scheme.
Yeah. That's the part of it that's tough too. Is when you start putting stuff down and saying that these are the rules, then all of a sudden then you're gonna get people like, hey, you did this time.
Broke the rule.
Right. You're giving them the way out, and while also trying to restrict them from using it.
And let me, with what he was saying, Ari was saying too, is like, if I see something that's close, but I see that they drew it themselves, I wouldn't say nothing.
Right.
I mean, a tiger is a tiger. There's a tiger is a tiger, right? So I mean, so like to me, it is what it is. But when I see it like an actual image, I'm like, dude, that's like straight rip,
full jack, right?
And one of the artists that did that, he did that almost on every single design, and I want to say at least 5 or 6 of his hats went through by the time I was able to catch it. And he's no longer a clinker. So I mean, it happens.
Ooh, was that early 2.0?
No, it was a couple years ago.
I know I might be, I might be the minority in this, but to me, what you just described is how it should be. Because what you said for most of the people that are on this call was information that they did not have. Right. And to me, that's exactly how it should be. Because that's an integrity issue. That's not a voting thing. That's not a popularity issue. That's an integrity thing. And that should function no different than, I mean, for all intents and purposes, the amount of money that goes to New Era is not available to the rest of us on this call. And that's, again, one of those things that I just don't think is really necessary to go there. But the good thing is we can all say that it's happening, and that's what we need.
I've literally had my art stolen from me. I literally have walked into a mall and seen it on T-shirts. So like it's happened. So, but like Chad says, the way someone responds shows their, a lot of times I give
integrity.
people the benefit of the doubt, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, dude, I did this, and they're like, oh, my bad. Like, some guy sold it to me. That's always their excuse. Some guy sold it to me. And I'm like, well, take it down. You know what I mean?
Oh, shit.
So
I just saw Don't
I've had Nike now 3 times. I've found Nike steal my artwork. And it's like, what do you do? Like, what? I'm going to sue a $1 billion company? Like, no, they're going to flood, drown me in court fees and shit. It's like,
litigation.
That's unfortunate. Even the biggest of the biggest steal. It's like, it's crazy. Because sometimes it comes down to some intern trying to make a name for themselves.
Yeah.
And that intern rips your art, and they think, oh, they'll never find this on Dribble.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Like, there's nothing you can do about it. But but that it all stems back to, that's the process. So if anybody's wondering, that's the process in which, if like one of us artists see something, normally we'll, I'll take it to Casey. If I don't know the artist myself, which this one I didn't, and there's been a couple, I said, hey, do with what you want. Casey then reaches out to the artist, kind of gets what's going on from the artist, and then he makes his decision from there. So I know he has warned people in the past. Some people have changed. Some people are no longer clinkers. So, I mean, that's the process. So everyone knows. Now, has he really dealt with the whole AI thing? Not yet. And I think that's something that he has to figure out for himself, right? It's his business. At the end of the day, he has to figure out what he wants.
Man, what if there's one you think is AI in this, Critz? Holy crap.
That's what's going to be fun about this.
All right. You want to get onto the crits, Leon?
Are we going to do crits?
I'm down to. I'm just flowing with you guys. So.
Yeah. I didn't mean it like that, but it just crossed my mind. Holy crap, we're still gonna get hats, and if one looks,
we're 2 hours in. Yeah,
it's gonna
a bunch of men just go.
I just want to say, if anyone was trying to get into the studio before, there was a block limit of 12, and you weren't able to get in. So some people did have the link. We're trying to get in, couldn't get in. Now there's a couple spots open. So if you were one of those people that I had sent the link to, welcome to join.
Does anybody else have anything else to add though, with as far as the AI or?
I guess I kind of don't understand the nuance between. So like some artists feel like reference photos is totally okay, some don't. So is there like a real
So like Leon, if I'm searching the internet and I just can't in my head, I can't visualize a panda bear dressed as a samurai doing a backflip.
Yeah.
I'm like, and I just can't find that anywhere, which I guess I probably could with certain movies, but this is an example.
Yeah.
Now if I go punch that into AI and I'm like, oh, okay, this is how its back would be bending, and like this is where this is how it would look. This is how the fat rolls would look, like this and that. Now I'm gonna take that. I'm not gonna trace it. I'm not gonna just slap it into my hat and that's my artwork. I'm gonna now reference that just for the basic body structure, and then do my own style to that as I please, and do my own color, my own color choices, my own type of shading choices. I'm gonna add in different just details as how I would normally like to see it done. Do the eyes differently. Like we all do eyes and hands and feet differently. That's like one of the biggest areas you can tell a guy's style. Like when you look at Sierra, that's Sierra. When you look at Phil, it's Phil because a lot of the hands, the eyes, the feet are very consistent. From guy to guy that they create. So those are big telling signs. So like stuff like that, I think is okay. But if you just rip AI and throw it on a hat and push it through, don't piss on my face and tell me it's raining, right?
No, not so much the AI part, but I mean like someone who draws like let's say realistic animals, let's say.
Yeah.
Right?
There's going to be a photograph.
Yeah. There's going to be guys.
It's not a drawing, it's a photograph. So they are tracing it. So how is that?
I don't like that. No.
Yeah, I think everything should still be like I have thousands and thousands of reference pictures.
Sure.
From cartoons to realistic animals to.
I just started using them. They're pretty.
Yeah,
good.
I mean it helps. And if you've seen like my my hit sheets, like I put like if it's a bear, I'll put like 15 different bears, realistic, whatever, and then I draw it out right on my iPad, so I know what I'm trying to do. But that's what it's used for. It's just used for references. So that's the difference. Like I'm not going to take one of those pictures, slap it in AI and trace it, or in Illustrator and just trace over it, because that kind of defeats the purpose, right? You just want to use it for whatever. So, as artists, that's the main thing. And if you're not good at hands, draw like I told my son, draw a page of hands till you get good at it.
Practice.
Yeah.
Because I've seen some animals where like, man, I wish you used a reference photo because like that's not how a snake
right,
or
exactly.
That's not how a bird's wing is gonna
right.
Because like sometimes I'll see a Critz and like I don't want to be too hard on them because it's like like that's not like the right hoof or whatever. So,
that's the thing too is like there are certain times we have to suspend reality, but at the same time there are artists who are. Maybe they're using AI as a reference because they're not fixing the mistakes that are there. So, like, as an artist, if you truly are an artist and you're aware, like, okay, I couldn't find a reference photo, so I used AI. I got my reference, but I know that like it shouldn't have 6 claws. Like, don't put the 6 claw in there.
Yeah,
I always heard it shouldn't even have 5. It should have like 3. You should dumb it down.
So
you do, you need to simplify. Yeah,
I seen one the other week. I won't mention who the artist is, but like you could tell that he just copy and pasted the claw from the back to the front.
It was me. It was me. You can tell him. You can tell me. It's all good.
That could have been me.
It was exactly the same. There was no. I was like, dude, he just copied and pasted the one in front. But that's something like you could tell with the artist, right? Like those are the nuances you can tell. So
yeah. All right, cool.
He sampled it.
He sampled. Oh yeah.
Let's get into it. Does anyone have any recent mail calls that they want to show off before we jump into it? Anything that they've received? We can skip this portion. We're 2 hours.
I'm still waiting on the dart.
All my shit's upstairs.
Okay. All right. So let's get right into it. So This week we started off with this one.
That guy. Who's that guy?
That guy. I know.
Who's that guy? Jeez.
Yeah.
Jeez.
They're all whack.
Jesus.
Trash. I had to do my best not to
suicide.
Get that out of
I
here.
had to do my best not to talk back to some of the people in the comments. It's like, all right, you don't like it. I wanted to be cocky, but I was like, all right, this is not my company, whatever.
No, they all look good, man. I think you did a good job.
I think you did a great job. I like the rails.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Rock, paper, scissors is great. I love the front panel changes. Those were good ideas. So
not every one of them I did submit with the side patch. They all got a side patch. I'm not complaining.
He traced all of them.
That's one of those things. So
Leon was like, "Nah, you better run me a 6-pack of side
That's part of collaboration. That's part of collaboration.
Right.
Take this, go with it. I'm not
Leon
one of
was
those
like,
guys
"This is a deal
you
breaker."
used the wrong glue. I'm not one of those.
Leon was like, "Nah, I need a 6-pack of side patches. If you don't do it, I'm done. I'm not doing nothing."
Chad said you traced all of them.
Yeah, I traced all of them. I definitely did not draw any of these.
That's what it is.
They're all AI colored, you guys. They're all AI colored.
Shout out to New Era.
Fucking AI.
New Era denied one of the
I heard
side patches. So that one on Scarecrows was supposed to have a custom side patch. It did not get approved.
Really?
Yeah,
that's a bummer.
Wow, that would have made that a crazy hat.
Yeah,
I did keep seeing, and that was the one that's one I kept hearing people complain about too.
But why didn't they just leave it off, Leon? Like, just at this point, like the flag doesn't really have anything to do with the.
I think like it would have just been like 1 out of 12 didn't have a side patch. It was just almost easier to do it with a side patch. I think.
Sure.
I think that's like a game time decision that Casey made. I stand by it. It still looks cool to me. But the custom one he drew, it was like a Clink pencil and then a flag on it. So it was like a
that's dope.
Yeah. I don't know why it didn't get approved. I have no clue. So shout out to New Era for that one. But this was a fun pack to put together.
If it makes you feel better, Field of Screams and Poison Dart Frog were the two that I really wanted and got.
Yeah.
Because
I appreciate you. But like one of the questions was when I was filming these, so every episode up until I think Milosh, we did like some sort of design session, and my question was always the same to the artist: what do you want? What would you want to be brought back in? And I went to Casey. Was like, what are the artist's best sellers? So this is a combination, and sometimes it'd be something I just want to fucking do.
Yeah.
So like Feel the Screams. Kyle's like, yeah, I want Feel the Screams to come back. Like, I know if you want Feel the Screams to come back, but I already got that idea locked, so don't even worry about it. So the other one he picked was Trail Cats. So
yes,
I'm
so glad.
And then
I was happy to see that.
And then I think Casey picked Bad Seeds. No, it might have been Kyle. But Kyle had this idea of like wanting to do like all the different seed bag. So it'd be like all the different flavors.
Yeah, sure.
That's cool.
Right.
So
That's really cool.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that was fun. Oh, we got a new member. Hold on. Gemini's here. Welcome back, Gemini.
Oh, Gemini's back. Nice. Oh, look, he's got the scarecrows on.
And he's wearing it.
Nice. And then for Phil, we recolored Rock, Paper, Scissors, but there was at a time when I was house sitting for my friend and I deleted the raw footage, so that'll be gone forever. But that one was real fun because he wanted to take elements of the three characters and put it on there. So the scissors, the gray of the scissors, the kind of rust color of the rock, and then the white
that's clever.
Of the paper.
That's very clever. Yeah.
That's
very clever.
Leave it to Phil. No, nothing surprised me with Phil.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what though, that rock paper scissors logo just burst off of that white front panel. I mean, it just really it explodes off of the hat now, and it was already a great logo, but man, the way that it projects right now is so good.
It's hard. It's hard to plan too, because when we did this, there was no recolors of it. So there was no classics. There was no the recolor of the classics. And then now you see it. It's like, this is the fourth time. But when we mocked it up, it had only gone through once. So.
Gotcha.
My one of my first interactions with Phil, I actually on the show said that the rock looked like a chicken nugget, and he changed it. But he said he was real pissed at me, and that's how I got to know Phil.
Phil's good people, man.
He's like, at first I was really pissed at you. I was like, how dare you? But then I was like, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna change.
Yeah.
That's great.
Dark Frogs is amazing on this one.
Dark Frogs is the one. I think it's my favorite from the
Dark
six.
Frogs.
Dark
So
Frogs.
fire. Hell yeah.
And selfishly for style, I wanted Wild Card to be just the color of Arizona Cardinals or like of a Cardinal.
Oh yeah.
And legally
they can't do
for
that.
some reason
Yeah.
they'd rather disrespect Uno, but like that one went through as is because I had that mocked up as just a red bird. I just wanted it as like a regular ass Cardinal. But legally it did.
And and New Era just said nope.
Sounds about New Era.
Too close to the Arizona Cardinals, or
close to Arizona, St. Louis,
the,
whatever. Yeah.
That's not
Louisville,
That's the
same
brand
thing.
integrity division or whatever it is now.
Right.
I love the mismatched buttons too. That's like a thing that I just like love when the color of the button ties into everything else, but it's not the same as the brim. I love that. I think it's, it's like just like a little spice on the top of the hat.
Trail Cats was real fun.
Trail Cats was good.
That one. That one we recolored together. That one took so long because he has a background in shoes. He designed shoes for a living. So talking colors and color theory and making things play off each other. That was a real fun one. I don't think we did mock it with a side patch, but I'm not mad that it got a side patch. Matches. And then,
I'm just glad.
Yeah, it kind of reminds
you
me
chose
of
that one
Coors.
because I was just glad to be able to get that because I didn't get the original, and I was just glad to be able to add that because it looks fantastic. The outline on that is so good. I just love the way that it looks.
I think I discovered a thread that I think that one's called Ice Blue or something. It was like a color I've never used before. Something we picked together. It was so cool. Poison Dart Frogs. The side patch was colored completely different. At least he changed it. I'm not mad at it. It looks great.
The corn silk with the silver is like money. It looks really nice.
I think originally I did it, and sometimes too when you learn about how to make hats, there's layers of embroidery. So sometimes you want to change, like let's say I want to change the wave, but then you change the pencil to something else. Sometimes they're tied together. So if you change one, you gotta change them all. So sometimes that happens. So I may have submitted it with like a yellow pencil, but with a blue wave, it couldn't be done. So Casey's like, all right, amateur, here you go. This is what no, because you don't know until you look at how the file is digitized. It's one of those things. And sometimes you just gotta trust who you're working with, and what he did was a great thing. And being able to play with that silhouette, the Poison Dart Frog with the little skull hidden. And that's the day I discovered corn silk too. So
it's a good thread color.
That's good stuff. Yeah, great job.
So I can't wait to see what everyone else is doing. So look out for people who are Clink and Clink adjacent to have their shot at it. I'm so blessed and happy that I was able to do it twice, and play your cards right, and they might tap someone else on the shoulder next, so you never know who's coming up. So it's a fun little project for sure.
Great hat.
It's a blast.
Yeah.
So I got to do mine sitting right next to Casey. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's nice. All right.
Oh shit! I thought I was going to be able to buy these after this.
No. So you have about 48 minutes. 38 minutes.
You better get on there right now, bud.
I'm getting.
Usually this is advance notice, 12 hours notice, but right now you got about 38 minutes. Last call. This is the real last call for alcohol. So the real Blood Moon, Roam Free, and Yeti Kong. Does anyone have any exciting thoughts on these first three?
I think Roam Free and Yeti Kong are going to come out really good. Blood Moon is striking and looks amazing, but I am curious how it's going to actually embroider, because I remember Casey mentioning that perfect circles are very hard to do well.
And sometimes when you don't have enough contrast, it muddies. So will you be able to see the contrast of the different like colors behind the moon, and so it'll be interesting to see.
It's like the red and the hot pink.
I'm interested to see if the wolf is negative space,
right,
or if it's embroidered.
Right. I hope it's negative space, dude. I hope it's negative space.
If it's negative
Like
space,
that'll be fire.
Yeah,
I doubt it's negative space though.
I doubt it, but I hope so. That would be so.
I wasn't a big fan of Roam Free. I mean, it'll probably be embroidered good, But Yeti Kong is really good. I do like that one.
Yeti Kong's dope.
You got to add it to the Kong collection.
Yeah.
Yep. Definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
no doubt.
I do love keeping that silhouette, classic Kong silhouette with the cross something, and then changing them up.
Changing it up, yeah.
Like at least it's like changed enough that it's like cool enough to put in that kind of like Kong box. Like for me, I have like a Kong box, so that's definitely going to go into the Kong box.
I'm building the Kong collection again.
Well, you remember a time where it was like there was a ton of Kongs, but like no one was buying them. It was just like, yeah. So, but everyone likes the branding now, so that's great. You know, Casey's done.
Well, Casey says it all the time. The big work Clink thing. He said he couldn't give it away before, and now you'll put it on like a shot drop and it'll sell out. It's like it's just funny how it works sometimes.
Yep.
All right. Taco Brothers, Lurkers, and Ball Hawk. Anyone have any specific thoughts?
If you want them to go back to like the minor league fun logos, you better buy Ball Hawk. That's
Ball Hawk. Yes.
Yep.
That is so good. Yep.
I'm curious to see how he does on your point on your Lurkers point.
I love that one too.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how he like what he takes, what's flat, what's raised. You know what I mean? It'll be interesting.
Yeah, they did a good job of changing like the colors and everything.
No, it's great. I like it
for sure. So I'm curious to see how it comes out. Definitely excited for that one too.
Yeah, and the Taco Brothers, I love that old kind of inky style where it's kind of messy. None of the lines are like line weights are identical, and it's just kind of like free flowing. So that's pretty cool by Jay and Casey.
Mm-hmm. The Tex-Mex.
I got 3 of these 6 in my cart right now.
At least you got the free ship though.
Yeah.
But, that's everyone's last call. Does anyone have anything to say before we move on?
Oh, you're muted. You're muted, bro.
Oh, I'm muted. I've been muted this whole time. I love these. Man, God. I love these circular designs. I think these circular designs always come out so nice. I'm like a big fan. After I got Forest Rays in hand for the first time, I was like, ooh, these nice little perfect circle scenes come out crazy good.
I'm just glad he didn't do a scene. Thank you, Point. You didn't do a scene. You did something different. You know?
There's a +1.
I was trying to change it up a little bit.
That's what I mean. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like we've had kind of 2 circle designs, the Blood Moon and this one. At least they're not like scenes. You know what I mean? There's something different a little bit. So,
and then I definitely tried to. My last couple of submissions, I definitely trying to get away from the whole scene a little bit. Me and Richard have a collaboration that's a kind of a different type of scene, but
nice.
That's cool.
Just be creative with it.
And then Ball Hawks is going to be good. Anything from Page Perception is going to be...
Page does these logos really nice, you know?
Yeah, this is going to come out nice. Big, bold lines.
That's going to be awesome.
Support that hat. Support that hat if you want to make a push toward that type of logo.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
All right. Oh, yeah.
I am wearing sleepers.
That's a CBS classic. All right. So this shock, I think it happened Thursday night. I think Thursday feels like 6 months ago already. But Free Lollipop and Big Clink Scarlet. So I saw some discourse around, Big Clink isn't that different. But like, I mean, like I saw so many people complain they didn't get the original Navy Big Clink.
Right.
So,
It's like make up your mind.
Either you got it and you're cool, or you didn't get it and you want it.
Right.
Yeah.
Be mad or be mad. God damn.
But anyone who copped Free Lollipop in size 8, I believe Marlon is actually looking for it. So
oh no, really? If you didn't get one,
Marlon didn't get one.
Yeah. So if you want to bless Marlon, size 8 or 778, hit up Marlon. But Free Lollipop. Any initial thoughts on this one?
Free Lollipop, definite winner here, in my opinion.
I mean, I wasn't a big fan of it, the original one. But I do like this colorway. You know, it just wasn't my style. You know what I mean? But I think it was done well. I think it's cool. You know, and those that really like that one, get it. You know, it's great.
Yeah. My question on it is in the leg of the Indian. If you recall, when but the first one that came out had the black thread in there. I'm wondering if they left it open this time or if it's a colored thread.
I think it looks
open.
Just negative space?
Open.
I have it upstairs. I have to go
it's
look.
Colored.
Yeah,
it's right here. It's a colored thread, actually.
There you go.
It is colored thread. Okay.
It's tonal to the crown. Yeah,
it's tonal.
Well, good. At least it's tonal to the crown, this time. So that's right. That's a definite plus.
The black bothered me at first.
I got over it after a while. Yeah.
I got over it real quick.
Yeah, for sure.
That was one of the ones. Sorry to cut you off. That was one of the ones that, if you guys remember, the original pre-order had red and purple. I don't remember if it took up 2 slots.
Yes, it did.
It did take up 2 slots. Okay.
Yeah, it did.
And then the brown came out later.
Way later.
Yeah.
Cool. It's all the Tootsie Pops. It's so good. It's so simple.
Yeah. The original one had a tonal over under, if I remember.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, it did. It did.
Correct.
You know, this is what I mean.
And the X-ray. There was an X-ray.
There was.
Oh,
free lollipop.
Yep. This is what I mean by earlier when I said like study the classics, and there's a reason why these done so well. It's just a really good design, and it's so simple and straightforward.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. All right. So now the main event. There better not be fucking AI in this.
Watch
all right,
3 of them in a row. 3 in a row. 3 in a row. 3 in a row. That'd be amazing.
I swear, I think he's
rework.
Done something like this.
He did. This is a rework. It's a pretty good rework, but
Looks
I like
good.
the other one.
I like it.
I like it.
A lot of opportunity for some tonal if they wanted to, some like flat. If you just use the negative space, it'd be great. So it's a good one.
Yeah.
Like I said, this is for those clinkers. This is pretty much ready to go.
Yeah.
So like this is what Casey's looking for. You know,
right out the box.
Yep.
Good to go.
There's nothing that needs to be redone on this at all.
No, I did get close because I think from a distance, like the face was kind of fucking with me a little bit. But once I kind of like actually got a good look at the face of the cat, I was like, oh, okay.
No, Raphael does great. Like,
yeah,
he does all the time.
All the time.
They're gonna kill the textures of the face first, and then kind of make the body kind of semi-raised, and the rest of that stuff flat. But yeah, he did a good job. All right, justice for Reba. Heather, I read the story. This fucked my day up, man.
It's awful.
Yeah, the story is everything.
Awful.
I don't even.
I don't tell me because I have dogs. I'm not going to read it. So.
Yeah, you're not going to want to. You're not going to want to. No, just nope.
Nope.
I mean, it's good.
Amazing that she did it, but it like when you hear those stories, it's like, yo, man.
Yeah, that story.
It makes me hate people
more than I already do.
So I'm curious to see how this does because I put one up facing forward like this, and I mean it got good votes, but it was never picked.
I was gonna say separating it from the style, or I mean from the cause or whatever. Is this like bringing something new to the table? You know, it's a bulldog and a heart. I don't know.
No, I think you hit a point. I was just gonna say it's like beyond the story. If I didn't know the story, if I didn't know everything behind it, I would just kind of shrug, like, okay, because it's really just kind of, okay, not bad by any means, but is it something that you're gonna see a whole bunch of people clamoring to get? Probably not.
And I think that's the thing that I keep hearing, like even like Discord. I appreciate all the guys that chime in on Discord. Talking to artists, I'm learning to get to know some of the new guys like Point and some of the guys that I haven't, really got to talk to and work with, like Sound and stuff. And they have good perspectives. So just hearing them, they're like, you need, something to hook them in. So whether it's the colorway of the dog itself, you know what I mean? Whether it's just something that kind of hooks in the whole design. So that's kind of what I've been trying to do more lately. Because my stuff is pretty simple. Like I'm like MLB background, you know what I mean? Like, Disney type stuff. So it's like, now I got to kind of think, okay, what can I add to it to kind of give it that extra oomph? You know what I mean? So, and I think this one, is the heart enough behind it? Is the story enough? We'll see.
Yeah,
I did one for a trying to honor as a paraplegic dog. My dog's best friend that passed away. So I gave him like roadster tires, like speeding away, and like in his wheelchair instead of like normal little tires. And even Casey goes, "Nah, it's not enough."
What?
I was like,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I think.
So it does with this dog. The dog stuff. I think you have to really, like what Flanagan just did. You got to really get in there deep and do something special. So,
I think part of it too, it's like a more recent submission I'm thinking of is like that Salem witch trial thing, where like the first one is almost too grim, too real, where it doesn't really like make you feel good. But the second one, where he did it was like the witch's revenge, where it's she's kind of like owning it and powerful. It's not just like a sad story. That kind of helps it. Right, right now, when you look at this compared to the real dog, she did a great job kind of capturing the essence and the portrait and whatever, but like it still like doesn't make you feel good. You know what I'm saying? So that's part of the thing. And I do love the fact that, you know, she's, you know, raising money for the charity potentially, and she's getting the story out. It just
she's given all proceeds, I think, to the charity.
So the story. So now it's not so much the design; it's more the story.
It's
you know,
the story.
Yeah.
It is the story.
Right.
Yeah, the story is the issue. The story is the push. The story is the pull. I mean, it's everything about the story.
And I'm gonna be
the cause. I won't even just say.
I
I won't say the story. I'll say the cause. Let's say.
I'll probably be the asshole and say that I don't really feel like that is what Clink is about for me, at least. Like,
and that's a fair assessment.
There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah,
that's an opinion. Yeah,
that's not an asshole move. It's a thing. We all have different reasons and different things we look for in Clink stuff. You know, personally, I think I'll be honest, if that design was a little bit doper, yes, that was very subjective and not very constructive. If the design was a little doper, I wouldn't give a fuck. Like, you know, I'd be like, yeah, hell yeah, let's run it for the cause.
If Heather would have came to me and said, "Hey, I need a bulldog," I'd have let her use mine and said, "Go ahead and mess with it." You know what I mean? Because it's pretty much the same thing.
Totally. I was gonna say the same thing, Creature, and I love Heather. I love her artwork, and I love the idea, and I love the push to try to do something for a cause and then to donate to proceeds like this. But I just wouldn't buy this. I don't think it's enough for me as a consumer to be like, I would like to wear this. And I've had this issue with guys that do like sports cap design where they'll send me something and tell me what the hook is. And I'll be like, hey, that's really cool, but this hat does not look good without you telling me what the hook is, because it's either so abstract or it's so off the walls that like I have to ask them, be like, would you actually wear this more than once? Like, would you actually do that? Like, would you actually go out and be excited to wear this?
Yeah.
Or are you just so enamored with the story or the hook behind
I mean,
it?
to be fair, bulldog faces are logos for a reason. People like them, so you never know.
Yeah,
That now we're back to we're kind of back to the same issue though. Is this logo in particular actually that fresh, or are we halfway pulled in because of the story? And I'm still saying, we're pulled in because
your
of the story.
design should tell the story to a degree.
Facts, but facts. And I think the difficulty is there's no way to tell this story. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was like trying to show something that made me ask, why does this dog look so happy having monster tiger wheels ripping out? Well, because this dog loved to run and go crazy, but it just so happened to be paraplegic. And here's the story, and blah blah blah. You know, like what so like. That's what you kind of have to do.
Sounds like the story here is something tragic. You can't really portray that.
It is. And see, that's what I was going to say, is it's so difficult to tell this story with an image because of everything about the issue. It's like, no, you really can't. But it's admirable that she wants to do it, but she wants to do it, and ultimately she's having to do it as a narration along with the design, and that's the disconnect.
I don't want to read the story because I can't.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
No,
you do not.
Heather, if it doesn't make it, I have an idea for you, and we'll go over it.
I was gonna say, I mean, I have something about being beaten. I have some ideas, but it's like, I
have a good idea to make it positive.
Yeah.
Well, like
there is a way.
An angel bulldog.
There are ways to take a touchy subject and make it positive,
triumphant. You can make it triumphant.
Yeah, you want to give the power back, and you make it a little more punk rock. Like
watch this one do the best tomorrow.
Watch spike chains, some earrings.
We'll find out tomorrow.
Yep.
It'll be pretty cool. But good work nonetheless. All right. Glass wing.
Wow.
Paige, look at Paige. So my only critique is and I know it's glass wings, but I mean that it's going to be so hard for them to embroider that through. You know what I mean? I'd almost like take out. I'd just kind of keep it pink and take out the darker colors almost. You know what I mean? But that's a great design.
God.
But the wing can be done like the Catalina flying fish. It's got that silhouette shadow, as well.
Yes, I would do like this silhouette shadowing in there. But I think some of those finer pink lines are going to be hard to do.
Yeah.
I'd almost just take those out and just leave like it just kind of fade the colors in it because it's glass. So it's not so sharp.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
But
it's a dope design.
That's a great design, though. Yeah,
I think we all reacted like we loved it.
Is that
How is this going to do on crits?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it'll probably get murdered.
Is it too pretty?
Yeah. No, you know why? Here's the problem. People they look at this and they don't see the embroidery at the end of it.
Nope.
Yeah. Sure.
Right.
We all see it. It's hard.
Yeah.
100%.
We all saw Catalina.
Right.
Yeah. Sure. So is everybody else by now.
Here we go.
Hopefully.
Would you make the parts that are translucent through the wings darker than the actual flower, though, so it doesn't look like it's just?
No, I would just blend it. I'd blend that pink a little bit more. Just give it more flood, like so it's not so crisp.
Yeah.
But because some of those in between, because it's just like putting the flower over the top. Some of those in betweens are going to be hard, so it's easier just to flood it in.
Yeah.
On either side, and then even the darker pink just flooded in, so there's not so crisp on the lines. So we'll see. I mean, I think it's a great design. Let's see. Hopefully it doesn't get killed.
Hopefully it doesn't. The only thing that I don't like on this is I'm kind of tired of the gray, black, and pink motif.
I was going to bring.
I think it's lavender, right?
It's lavender.
That's lavender. Yeah, that's why
that's lavender.
Lilac or
lavender.
Is it?
Yeah,
it looks gray on my screen. Okay, if
it looks great. It looks like Fuji.
Yeah,
it does look gray. It does look gray.
Lavender.
Yeah, I don't see it.
Say if it's lavender.
Yeah,
sign me up.
Yep.
Sign me up.
I think that hurts it in the crits vote, to be honest.
I know, but I mean, for us, we're like this.
I love it, but I think it's going to hurt it in the vote, which is unfortunate.
No.
Well, that's something we have to consider too. Is that if this makes it through, does it make it through with this color?
Well, if it makes it through on the back of this color, it better keep the color, right?
Right.
Well, but we've seen it happen before.
They constantly change colors.
Yeah.
I don't
So
understand
so I don't think there's any guarantee that if it did vote well, that it's gonna still go through with that.
What about you, Point? What do you guys think? You guys like this one?
I love lavender domes, and I also love lavender UVs. This would be like a take my money, me throwing my card at my computer. Like, yeah,
I like this.
This is awesome. Awesome.
I don't think that's how e-commerce works, but
I know.
What's the Blaze phrase? I got cash.
I got cash.
Straight up. Straight up.
Yeah.
All right. Anyone else want to chime in before we move
I'm
on?
glad they dug back for this, by the way. That's something I like to see.
Yeah, that's definitely good. One quick thing on the Glasswing. It won't be like the flying fish for the sole reason that the Glasswings, they literally are clear.
Yeah.
Clear. Right.
Gotcha.
So there's not going to be that translucent embroidery.
Yeah.
Well, there just won't be.
They'll have to do something with it. You know what I mean? It'll be interesting to see what they do.
Well, if you put it on a white, like a white dome, chrome dome, you could potentially use like a metallic iris. Potentially, you take that color out of it, having it being a colored flower and a colored chrome. So
okay, we'll see.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Like this one is like a tougher one to kind of nail down because it's more realistic than like mascotty, like where the the Catalina had these big swatches of wing that you could use. This is like more
this is great. This is thinking outside the box. It's something new.
Sure.
Like, that's what I like.
Right.
Definitely. No, it's definitely a cool piece.
This is one of those ones where I'll get it in and my girlfriend will be like, "What the fuck? Why didn't you get me one?" I know it.
Y'all are different sizes?
Yeah, she wears a 1/4. I got a big head. I got a big bald head. I wear a half with no hair.
Yeah, don't worry. I don't share my hats with no one, so I'm size 8.
Nope, not at all.
Yeah.
Stage.
I like this. I like this a lot.
This has a lot of elements of change ups in it, you know, like how it kind of just fades into
like
the design.
I like that.
Yeah.
I think
this is cool. Yeah,
This is another instant. This is an instant buy. I've been liking the Kelly Green Dome after I got the Dead Presidents Classics in. I was like,
I'm so pissed I didn't get that. I'm so upset I didn't get that.
This
I
is a
think there's a lot of fun with the stitching. I think that like will be kind of cool how they embroider that.
Yeah.
This is a good time to bring up the question of our thoughts on designers competing against themselves on a weekly basis.
I know, it just sucks. Yeah.
It's one of the downfalls of having multiple designs out there that you believe in. So I mean, you got to hope that both of them rise above, but it is unfortunate.
Yeah.
Both are still good
I love
themes
this.
where Paige can, if one doesn't make it, Paige can come back and kind of make a few adjustments and resubmit. You know what I mean? Like both of them are pretty good themes where if one doesn't make it, or if they like, he could come back and kind of.
And they're different from each other.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I can't find his submission for the Glasswing.
It's long ago. It was long
okay.
ago.
All right, there you go. And then Taylor is 6 days ago. So it's like that. How could you even know that they put him on the
That's the thing. You don't know, but it is a blessing when they grab an old one. Unless you've been working on a rework and then you're like, damn it.
Yeah.
At least it wasn't as long as Sloths in the 1.0. That was 4 years.
Yeah.
Jeez.
4
Well, there
years
was that one from
submission to creation.
2021.
I'm down for the long ones though.
Oh, nice.
All right,
Okay.
So we got Midnight Flight.
This is like a Shadow League take on a wish.
So this would
like that.
kind of be like the
Free Lollipop,
the Indian one. Yeah, Free Lollipop.
Yeah,
Yep.
Right.
I said that to Heather.
Embroidery,
I love this. I love this. This is so fresh.
That's
So
good.
fresh.
Yeah, this is also another one where I'd get it in, and my girlfriend would be like, "What the fuck? Why didn't you give me one?"
Can't double up too often.
So I worry about certain parts being able to execute, like the little frills.
Well, you know
on
what? Casey will go through if it makes it through. Casey will go through and like deepen up some of those lines and
I'm cool
take
with
out
that.
some of the
Yeah.
detail. You know what I mean? And I know Creature and Heather don't mind that. You know,
No.
as long as the integrity of the design is there, that's all that matters.
Right.
Yeah. This is a really, really good one, you guys. Great job, Donnie.
Damn right. Damn right.
Good job, Heather.
Good job, Heather.
Great
Yeah,
job.
mostly
guys.
Heather. Mine was a pinup. I wanted to do a pinup witch. That's
Pinups are
Okay.
hard.
That's close enough.
Nice.
It's close enough.
That's cool.
It's close enough.
Yeah.
Pinups are hard. Like even in tattoos, like how do you execute that face?
Yeah,
I
they're
think,
right.
I think
so small.
I think the
'Cause
moon,
they have to
if
be
it-
pretty.
if it
Yeah, that's
doesn't make
the
it,
hard part.
if it doesn't make it, I would rework the moon a little bit more just to give it a little bit more texture.
I
Sure.
feel like you don't need the
Make-
moon.
I
Probably
like
not.
it. I think it's a nice touch.
Yeah.
I think
Maybe
the
add
moon's
some
a nice
greater
touch.
depth in there on the bright side, but you know, we'll see what happens.
Fingers crossed.
It's
Yeah.
good color. You don't
Purple.
really see
Yes,
purple
Taylor
a
Bird
lot.
was
Sure
great.
is. Sure is.
Yes, it was.
Great color.
All right. Moving forward. Crossing. Chad.
Oh, Chad.
Oh, wow.
These are solid.
Oh.
logo
I like this too.
designs.
I really like this too.
Mhm.
Oh, this is a good
Jackalope?
week already.
Jackalope, right? Yeah.
I like it.
Is that
Wow.
a black ribbon button or is that graphite? Because that's going to tell me whether or not Aaron likes this.
I feel like
No,
it's
the
a
darker.
black
I'm okay
button.
with the dark. I'm okay with the dark like that as long as it's not
Okay.
too light.
I feel like it's a black button with a graphite visor. I feel like.
Okay.
I really dig that logo.
See,
that
this
whole
is
design is cool.
This is a great example of like Chad, you know, being all professional. Like the back legs or the shadow.
Yeah.
He's got the 3 stars in there, which is like a standard. You kind of put any kind of star or any kind of pattern, you always kind of want to do it in 3s. The moon, like this is just gonna. I mean, you could do a flat moon and raised bunny, and oh man, this is gonna be great.
It's gonna embroider great. Yeah,
Oh.
that's really nice.
Fantastic.
Good
Point
stuff.
and our boys down there. Any comments on this one?
I really like this one. This is like my gray black style is what I look for sure.
Yeah,
adding that gold in there is really gonna make it stand out to me. I'd buy this one for sure.
Yeah.
It's that pop of color.
I really like this one a lot too.
He's using 3 colors of gray on the crown too. So the crown's probably like a dolphin, misty morning, graphite visor, and then a light gray under.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
A lot of tricks in here.
Good job, Chad. Really like it.
We've been waiting on a jackalope too, so
definitely.
This almost reminds me of like 14/8's style, like adjacent to like 14/8 in a way, because it's so minimalistic, but it's executed just super cleanly.
Yeah,
it's got a bit of Noble North to me with the star.
Oh yeah,
look at
good call.
Yeah.
Good call.
There you go.
Because he did that like that reindeer one with it, so it's kind of he's continuing that like series.
Nice.
But yeah,
So
it lacks the Canadian touch though. So,
yeah,
I mean,
it lacks the A, bud.
It lacks snow.
The A, but yeah, I like it. I like it. This is professional.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Makini.
Oh, Point X.
Oh,
little Hawaiian theme going on, huh, bro?
Yes, sir. So like this one, it's like me trying to get some more culture into the Clink Room.
Nice.
I actually, boosted this through Meta. So shout out to Meta for getting it out there. And I've had like quite a few like Hawaiian people like reach out to me and be like, "Hey, let me get this like now." So hopefully it does well. So that way it goes through and everything.
Tell them to vote.
Yeah,
Tell them to vote. Yep. Tell them to vote.
I'm gonna comment and tell them to go vote tomorrow for sure.
The only thing I would the only critique I would give it is just to if it doesn't make it, which I hope it does because it's really cool. I love the warrior mask and stuff like that. It's just bolden up the lines and try to simplify the hand a little bit. But other than that, it's great, dude. Great concept, great idea. Don't get rid of this idea. If it doesn't make it, please keep it trying to come back because it's really good.
Yeah.
It's like a follow-up to your mask off one too, right?
I was gonna say,
yeah, it's kind of like a spin-off of Unmasked.
Yeah, that's what it was.
And I like and I actually like the colors. I think you did a good job.
There was a guy that gave me some good advice, and I guess there's a big culture within the Chargers and the Hawaiian culture. So he said maybe even a colorway of like the Chargers colorway, changing it up a little bit too. So I wanted to see how that looked, but the basic story behind it is like that warrior, the Makini warrior. They used to wear those masks during battles, and their legends never die. So this is a nod at that.
Great job, dude. Good job.
You had like a V for Vendetta one too, almost, right? Was that you?
Yeah. So the Unmasked one.
There was an alien one and a V for Vendetta one.
It's the same one.
Fox mask.
Okay. Hold on.
Hey, you know what too? An idea is like the strings. Oh, that one's dope. The strings that you have hanging down. You almost don't need even outlines on them.
Yeah, I was messing with it a little bit to see if I could take it off, but I if it goes through,
it on, because if you think about the embroidery, those are going to come down, and they'll just be, if they were solid, even the solid brown bottom, like brown tips, and the crossing on top, that would be dope. Because it really doesn't need an outline.
I love this pose. I have it like tattooed on. I don't know if you guys can see.
Oh, that's dope.
That's cool.
Hold on.
No, but great design point. Really good.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh yeah.
I don't even know if I can bend my arm like that. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like she's like crying.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Got that mask on.
Sleeve gang.
But yeah, I love that pose. Great job, man.
Thank you.
All right. SEAL Team 6. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
I saw him posting this one up. This one's cool.
Yeah, so did I. I like this a lot. Especially the brim being camo. The camo brim. That's fucking dope.
The six shape is where it's at. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Everything about this is so fresh. I'm really hoping this hits.
He sent me an earlier version of this.
Say about this.
Yeah, he sent me an earlier version of this, and the earlier version, it was just the seal shaped like a 6 holding the baseball. And I always quote Creature with this. I was like, it needs something a little extra to kind of drive home the SEAL Team 6 theme. Because right now it's just a seal in the shape of a 6 holding a baseball.
Did he put the helmet on?
Yeah, and then he added the helmet and the glasses, and he put it on this. He added the spots. He added some extra stuff to it, and this is
Yeah, this is cold blooded.
Well, you know what?
Love it.
It's simple. The simple lines and everything. This is going to embroider nice.
Yes.
Like it doesn't have a ton of detail, but like I can see it embroidered, and it's going to look really cool.
Yeah.
Yes. Agreed.
Casey's going to texture that gray too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what? The olive green or the rifle green on the black camo is like, woo!
Yes, sir. Straight up. That's hot. That's hot. That's real.
But are we gonna get the camo top cover? Top? We'll see.
I hope we get. They might change
button.
that.
New era is going to be like, no, you can't.
No,
do
we
that.
can't do that. It's too much work. Oh my
Too much
God.
work.
Oh, too much stress to do.
Do you get? Is there legally? Is there any way like someone would have copywritten that name? Do you think?
Nah, I don't think so.
No.
No, it's not a. Yeah, it's not something that could be trademarked.
Okay. Half of them guys have unfortunately passed away too.
But the other thing to keep in mind too is with that name, if it were referential to SEAL Team 6 in its capacity, then you'd have then you could go there. But this is a SEAL. It's going to be really tough to push the issue.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, nice job, Zach.
Yeah.
So happy.
Forever,
That's a good one.
It's very dope.
forever renowned for their work. We thank them for their service.
Oh,
That was like,
I like this, dude.
Taylor,
I like this,
Taylor,
bro.
take a breath.
Yeah, right. Breathe.
Speaking of
Breathe
14.8.
in, breathe out. Breathe in.
This is
breathe
the one
out.
that made him fall in love with 14.8, I think.
Oh boy, I love this though. This is
one's
so
really
fresh
good.
to me.
Dome needs to go change his underwear real quick.
Yeah. I love the simplicity of this one. I mean, there's
What
not
a
much to say.
week! What a week!
Yeah.
Holy
Yeah.
crap!
Yeah, this
Oh
this
my
is a brutal
God.
week. Yeah, this is something else.
Holy crap!
Oh my god,
I'm not familiar with a lot of 14.8, so this is new for me. So I have to check him out.
He has like a minimalistic gothic
Big,
style.
bold, yeah, tattoo.
is he out of the
tattoo.
UK too? Is he out of the UK or something?
Yes,
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That's who I remember. Yeah.
He's very nice to talk to too. I've
Nice.
had
Cool.
good conversations with him.
This might
Yeah.
be somewhere where New Era doesn't realize it's a weapon either.
Yeah.
Kunai? Yeah,
No.
probably not.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
Just tell him it's a
Naruto
haircut.
vibes, 100%, Chad. 100%.
Yes. Those flowers.
Not much to say about this one. I mean, I like it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
gonna, it's gonna embroider well.
Yeah.
I don't
It's
think
really great.
To be honest with you, I don't think it needs a lot of the outlines, but we'll see.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can see that. I can see without the outlines, it would be even doper.
If it was just red
Even
flowers, I
more
think
dope.
it'd be dope.
Same here.
Mm.
I think I do think you stick with the outlines on the kunai itself, but I think
Yeah.
almost everything else could go without.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully it goes through. I'm gonna be voting yes for this one.
Me too.
yeah.
Me too.
Mhm.
this is.
I haven't seen a clunker yet.
Right.
No, not yet. Well, we're not done yet. So
Yeah.
Even if
We're not even
even if
halfway.
the outline on the flowers was negative space, that could work too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Even on the little cloud things too.
The clouds. Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Negative
Just a
space, all that.
Yeah.
Negative.
It's a gardening tool. It's not a weapon. Come on.
Yeah,
Of
the
course.
different levels of raised embroidery on this are going to be like awesome because I can see the circle is going to be flat and the little
Yeah.
clouds are going to have a little raise to it. The flower on the top left is going to be
There's
kind of
so much
raised.
you can do with that. Too.
You know,
So the
Yeah.
direction they do potentially on that, like the thick part of
The kunai, yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool. Like,
This one's making me sweat.
yeah.
I'm sweating.
Oh,
yeah, this is money, bro. I'm not gonna lie, this is money, bro. This is money, bro.
There it is.
Hey, when I saw him post it,
Oh,
up,
we
I
shared
literally
this.
fucking
It was-
shared this shit like instantly. I don't hardly share
Yeah.
shit, but that one I was like, yep, that one, let's go. And I love the color. I'm a sucker for mint, no matter what.
Yeah.
that one,
oh my
that
God.
was fly,
Everything
dude.
is-
This one looks really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, everything about this is ill.
It feels heavily inspired by Boogeyman.
Yeah.
a little bit. I can see that. I can see that.
I can see that.
But not in a bad way. Not in a bad way. That's
No.
what I can
So-
definitely see some reference. I could see some homage.
So the nerd in me wonders how accurate the turntables are. Like, is
Yeah.
that an
They're
accurate
not.
DJ movement?
So
I mean,
so they
it
look more
depends.
yeah, they look more like the digital turntable.
They look like I was gonna say, yeah, they look like Serato more than it does like
There you
straight
go.
vinyl.
There you go.
And so that's for me at least. That's why it worked also because it was like, okay, you don't have to be a DJ or have to be a hip hop head or something like that to really get the point. And at the same time, if you really look at it, kind of like we just did right there, it's not necessarily vinyl, but it's definitely some work going on.
So I think
those are subwoofers, and his ribs are pelvic.
I think he can actually lose the chest. Like I think if you just put like a solid piece down the middle, maybe a couple lines, it'd be fine.
Agreed.
The hand in the back should be a little bit more thicker than the hand in the front. Should have lighter line weights, but I mean, you're nitpicking at this point. You know what I mean?
Well, the fingers at the front are little. They're going in two directions.
He's fingering the record.
Yeah,
that's what she said.
That's
what she said.
Yeah. Other than that, I nitpicked the hands a little bit. The teeth, maybe.
I like the fact that the teeth aren't really as noticeable. I like that part. I like that part. But I agree with you guys both on the hands, both front and back hand. I definitely agree with the idea of that chest piece being a little less
prominent.
Yeah, a little less forward, right? Because it almost makes you look like, wait, what is that?
Yeah. I think the focal point should be the head, hands, and the front hand. Yes. Everything else can be kind of tailored back.
Is the outline mint and the UV cyber green?
No, they're both mint. They're both mint. All of it's mint, and even the top, it's mint too.
If he made those changes on focal points, wouldn't it be even more like Boogeyman? Aren't those the focal points?
No,
not at all.
No,
Boogeyman's whole shape, design, everything about it's much different.
Well, I know it's a B, which I
but the only thing, that's about the only close part. Yeah, that's about the only close part is that they're both on turntables and apparitions. But
there's a colorway like this as well.
There is. I have it. It's the
there is. I've got that one.
Damn, I never took that in. I have that hat. I never even took that in.
You never saw the B?
Oh, never saw the B? Really?
You never saw the B? Oh wow!
I'm slow with this kind of shit. All right. Like Milwaukee Brewers, I never saw the MB.
Oh, get the fuck out of here!
Leon.
I'm happy.
You're done, bro.
Wow,
that's a timeout. That's a timeout right there.
Leon needs a timeout. He didn't see
as much I nitpicked. There's a lot of stuff goes right over my head too. So.
That's great.
Listen, I got a mint green T-shirt that I just got, and I have mint green Air Forces, and I got cash. Like,
that's real, bro. That's real.
Oh man!
All right.
All right.
I didn't even have to read the name to know this was Flanagan.
Yes, you did.
I love that.
Exactly.
So love the color, love everything. The only when I saw this come out and I meant to reach out to him was the hand on the bat.
Agreed. Because it looks like it's in the bat rather than on the bat.
The only thing I would adjust is that. Other than that,
otherwise it's fire.
It's fire. Yeah.
You'd make the backhand a little more raised as far as
because now it looks like the hand is a part of the bat.
Yeah. And Flanagan, if you need a reference, dude, I'll send you a reference. For that. But other than that, great. I love the color.
I really love the colorways. Oh
yeah,
God, I love.
I think the colorway hurts it again. That's not saying I don't like it. As the Critz guy, I'm looking at it from the Critz perspective,
right?
And
I can see that. I can agree with that.
That's what I'm trying to bring to the conversation. I think the colorway is going to demolish it.
I can see that.
There's no pop color other than the red. I think that Vegas Goldie kind of color he used for the mustard bat and under hurts it because it's not really complimenting.
That mint of the crown too. Yeah, and then the fact that
of course, Pat. Of course,
and then the dog himself is wearing that same color too.
Man, that was my bad.
Yeah, I would go gray under. Probably put the dog wearing gray, and then really get like a high res like yellow in that mustard and in the bat. I think.
So he said he went for Griffey. So if it doesn't, I would change the dome to more of like the darker Seattle colors.
The newer
darker dome.
Definitely make the difference. And then you're good, bro. Like you're good on this
right.
one.
Yeah, but then you could just trade the goldish color for silver.
Yeah.
Yes.
But good job, man. I really like this one. When it first came out, I was like digging it.
The logo's fantastic.
Yeah, I will. I'll send you a reference for it, bro.
Yeah. Good job. All right, cool. Moving forward. Peril.
Oh, this one's cool.
I like this a lot, man.
Mortal Kombat.
This is
I love this shit. I love this right here, bro.
Wait, does Heather have 3 up this week already? Wow, Heather.
Heather's been rushing it.
That goes to show you volume does wonders for real.
Yeah.
Quality volume. Quality volume, though.
Listen, she's a good friend of mine. I'm not hating on her. I'm just
I know you're not. I know you're not. But I did want to say that part because, you know,
That's
like
fair,
a lot of
that's
people,
fair.
you know, because there's a lot of people just keep throwing shit. But the difference is she's doing a lot of quality volume.
Yes.
This is sweet. That's really
This
cool.
is fucking dope to me.
When I saw this on her page,
I got
this made me
cash.
stop
I got
and
everything.
drawing.
Run it.
This is like mint. This is like mint week, though, right?
Hey, I'm here for it. I'm here for
The
it.
color
Fuck
mint
it.
is really getting tested. This is like Mortal Kombat meets like House Sigil. House
Targaryen combat.
Right?
Yeah, Targaryen combat. That's dope.
Targaryen.
I got the shirt, I got
it.
the shoes, and I got cash.
House Scorpion.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Do not meddle in the affairs of dragons, for you are crispy and delicious with ketchup.
Oh boy.
What would House Scorpion's motto be? Get over here.
Cometh here.
Cometh over.
Cometh
That was good.
Bringeth yourself to me.
It's going to be a tough week already. I hope none of my designs are up here.
I hope I don't get another one. This is cool, but if we're being extra critical, it doesn't really have a rhyme or reason. It's just like a blue duck, you know.
I'm good with that.
So I do.
Hey, sometimes that works though. Sometimes simplicity is everything. It's just bang. That's it. That's just what it is, and you gonna like it or not. And I love it. But I'm with you. Yeah, it is just kind of like, hey, what? All right, cool.
But a lot of times though, people are voting with no backstory.
Right.
Do I like it or not? And that's what you gotta understand too.
Yep.
All right. So all right. Liquid.
Oh, come on, bro. Bring it. Come on, bro. I'm gonna say right now, I'm guilty as fuck. I'm guilty as fuck because I saw this before. And I told this guy, I was like, "This, oh, come on, man, this is hard. This is so freaking hard, bro."
The evolution, watching this evolve over a few versions, man. This is awesome.
It's so dope. It's so dope.
I said
I'm watching the original to this.
What's that?
Yeah,
What'd
man.
you say?
Watching the original to this, this is fire, man.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Very dope.
It feels like
Very
one
dope.
of those ones where like if you walk into Hat Club, everyone's gonna be like,
They're
"What?"
gonna shit themselves. They're
They're
gonna shit
poop
themselves.
They're gonna be like,
Yeah.
"I'm sorry, I have this LA Dodgers hat on, but where'd you get yours? This is much cooler."
All you
Actually,
hear is the collective snapping of necks.
So I
Casey
told
actually gave
John
me-
this was my favorite drink hat ever.
Yeah.
I think
I'm with it.
Yeah,
I'm with
yes.
it.
it's one of my favorite of his ever, which is saying a lot. But
Oh,
I
thanks,
am slightly worried about Monster Energy drink.
Oh, yeah.
It
Kind
reminds
of
me
feels
of
monster and
Surge,
Mountain
and
Dew.
Surge doesn't exist.
It could be Mountain Dew.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah,
say,
it could be Dew. It could be. It could also be. What's that? What's the generic fucking Shasta
Actually, it was
version of Mountain
Spurred.
Dew?
And wasn't it? Who sent it? Chad sent it. He's like, throw some orange in there because it was
Yeah,
like,
I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a drink. I can't remember what it was. though.
Surge. Yeah, it's Surge. I remember.
Oh,
it.
is that
I
it?
remember it. It's Surge. Yeah.
So I sent this to Casey as a sketch, and he's like, he actually gave me the name. He's like Liquid Inspiration, and I was like, dude, that's a sick name. So me and him kind of worked on
Mostly
it.
the
and-
bolts, by the way, on the hand.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, I could take those off. It's not a big deal. And then working with him, and then I sent it to a few of the guys, and everyone kind of gave me some feedback. So I appreciate all your guys' feedback. We'll see how it does in crits, you know?
Yeah. I love this.
What a week! Holy crap!
I know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You almost hate to see so many good designs,
Yes, you
you know,
do.
in the same
In 1 week?
'cause-
Yeah, man.
'cause
It's
when are
so
you gonna
tough.
see? Because the ones that don't make it, when are you gonna see them again? You know, that's
Right.
the brutal part.
Right.
All right.
Yeah, I know all of us crack some energy drinks when we're designing. So that's what kind of gave me the idea of this one. I was like, I originally had a pencil in his hand, and Casey's like, why do you have a pencil in his hand? And I'm like, liquid
He was thinking
inspiration.
inspiration. Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like, lose the pencil. I was like, all right. So,
Also, UV to button.
oh yeah, I had to do that.
UV
man.
to UV to button is like, I love UV to button.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
That's my
Well,
jam.
I appreciate it, guys. Appreciate all the feedback too. So.
Oh yeah.
All right, cool. Moving forward. Hedge funds.
Oh, cool.
I like this.
Whoa, this is hard.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's so hard,
This is a
bro.
rework from a long time ago.
Rework.
I
Yeah.
remember this. Yeah, the OG.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's Mint Green Week.
And I will say, I don't know why, but I'm loving the animals in suits this week, man. That just
I like
that's
this.
good stuff. The suit and tie is just it's a good look, man. That thing is dapper.
So
Get
I
the
like
pop of red.
I like how I just like the and it's not a bad term, but it's like the muddy kind of
It's muted.
line weight. I just like it.
Yep.
I just like that.
Yeah,
Where
I
it's
like
not
this a
like
lot.
super defined. And you kind of like from a distance, you're like, oh, that's dope. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
and that's just not my style, but I like when people do it.
Yeah.
I do like how he has like this almost mullet.
Right.
Yes, yes, that's the part that keeps hitting me every time I look at it. I'm like, this dude.
It's a strong week, man. I don't
that's
know
good
how
stuff.
how
Going
good
anywhere.
he is this week.
This dude fucks.
Oh shit.
It's all
Yeah,
silent and all
I'm
you hear is
taking that, bro. I'm taking that for real. I'll be saying that shit all week, I promise.
I love the little logos on the money too, like those Clink bucks and stuff. Like,
That's
Good
so
job, man.
dope.
Great
Very
job.
dope, guys.
the
Very
original
dope.
showed up on a Vegas gold crown, if I remember correctly. Something
Actually, I like this colorway. What is this?
Yeah, this color is
colorway?
great.
What is it?
What did you choose, Rick?
It's like that. It's like a minty green. I don't know what this
There's
green
a
is.
forest and like mint.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Forest
It
I
is
like how
mint weight.
muted.
and then mints. Yeah.
Yeah, I like how muted it is too. Like
Yeah,
it has like
so
this kind of like muted color scheme to it.
Mm-hmm. Kind of old schoolish. It's so fresh.
Yeah, I like it.
Man,
See how it
this,
does, man.
I
Hopefully
hope
it
it
does.
does well. We'll see.
Rick always finds a creative way to not use black thread. It's like his it's like his thing. It's all of it.
Respect.
Hey, Leon, you're making me sound racist every time you say that. You say that way too much.
No, it's just your
Nah,
that's your move though. You know?
It's not that I dislike, like, there's something about black thread that's just like it doesn't pop in any way. So I like just avoiding it because I think there's just other ways to create depth. I don't know. That's all.
Yeah.
No, I hear
No, it's
you.
cool. It's like it's your signature. I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Cool
Just as
thing.
someone with a embroidery background, it's just kind of how I've always done it.
No, it looks great,
No,
man.
that's good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's good stuff.
Very fresh. Very
Yeah,
fresh.
this one's a
Also,
winner.
the name is great
Yeah.
Oh, the name
because I'll get
Well,
to
that's
tell
Creature.
people.
He loves
Yeah.
the puns. You know what I mean? He loves it.
Yeah,
It's the
Creature's
only way I
king
can think
of the name.
creatively, really.
He's the pun king.
Yeah.
That's Creature's bag, right? there.
for sure.
Happy to see it.
All right.
Oh, shit.
Told you.
Told you.
Mullet.
Then told you. You gotta say it right. You
Done
gotta say
told
it right.
you. This is
Wow.
this
You
is
gotta
one
say
of my
that right.
first.
Now
Start
this
to
guy
finish,
also
no help.
fucks.
Yeah.
This one's wild, bro.
This guy's
Yeah.
like a whole
Battle
other way.
Toads. It looks like Battle Toads.
This is mullet week too.
Dude, this
Yeah.
is awesome though. This is awesome. I don't care.
I'm so happy.
It's
they put
hilarious.
this in
I
there.
love this
I'm
shit,
so
bro.
happy.
I love this shit. Oh man. Wait,
I love
but
those color
are we
choices
gonna
too.
get into trouble about that knife though?
Probably.
Yeah,
He
I
put it
feel
up.
you.
He put it up.
Yeah, you put it
I
up.
done told you,
He's
boy.
just picking his teeth. That's all. He's just got a
He's
little.
picking his teeth. That's right.
You'll
That's
see
right.
his teeth. He's picking away.
Hey,
All right,
hey,
you right.
hey! If
Wait.
this one doesn't make it, I want to rework it for you.
This is gonna probably get crushed, so you might have that opportunity.
I like
yo,
the color
pick up this
choices.
I
though,
just,
man.
I just
Doing
like
the
the idea
artwork.
of the mullet and stuff. It's freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
Yes.
good stuff.
This gives
Plus
us
the cut
Actually,
off
John,
denim
I have a
shirt,
different
bro.
one for you. If not, if this
This-
magically goes through, I got one for you.
The
this
cut off
gives
denim
off
shirt,
such
bro.
Joe Dirt vibe.
Yes.
So
Yes.
That's a great call.
Yes.
Joe Dirt.
Yeah.
How well?
Don't try
how
to
well,
church it up, son.
How well did the earth tones vote color wise?
Uh,
I feel like you go through them a lot, and I like that you do that.
Yes, it could, Chad.
Does that hurt your voting? You think?
I'm like one for my last 15
Okay.
in crits, so
He's like-
possibly.
He's
but-
like, I'm just throwing it out there.
I know I like the earth tones. I just don't know
love
how
it.
well they vote.
Yeah.
So like to me, you're being more unique. You're picking colorways that don't normally go through. I worry that your voting gets hurt by the colorway I have.
Possibly, but it's
Another
something I
use
want to wear. I mean, that's where it all
Yeah.
started for me
right.
doing these. Is
Yeah.
what do I want to wear? And sometimes I'll break my own rules for aesthetics, and then I'm not as attached to it. Like this one is all mine, like start to finish. And I'm surprised nobody said anything about the crazy outline. I just thought it fit the character.
No, I mean it's so out there that it works, bro. Like it's just funny. It's funny as hell.
I know there's this like discourse now too, like in the like the at least the fitted hat community. Anything that's like non-tonal eyelids, people like shit themselves.
Crybabies.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Crybabies. Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah.
Some of these folks make me feel like I'm boring as hell.
to me, like when I used to mock up hats, though, I would always make them non-tonal because it would just give it the extra color pop.
Yeah, it gives you a little style to it. Yeah,
but I already hear the people complaining. Like,
I was the same way, Leon. I always did it too, and then people just started complaining too much. So I was like, all right, whatever.
So weird. That's so weird.
It's definitely a thing though amongst fitted collectors.
Amongst nerds,
and then also non-tonal flags. People are weird about that too.
Oh my god, what?
Yep.
What?
Oh, big time.
That's fucking
non-tonal
weird.
flags. People will be like, I won't buy it. It's a non-tonal flag. I don't like it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, 100%. He's not even joking.
I'm not joking.
That's so fucking weird.
Yeah,
that's so weird.
I like non-tonal flags.
That's why I love
Clink
Clink.
exclusively does non-tonal.
They do. Yep, and all of it's non-tonal. It's amazing.
9 out of 10 is the same color as the back hit.
Back hit, yeah. I like them all. I'm so easy. I like tonal. I like non-tonal. I come on, bro. God damn.
On a sports hat, a retro, like pre-1996, the nerd in me likes tonal because that's how they were worn.
Yeah.
But for customs, I don't mind that they're non-tonal.
We're from New York. We don't wear non-tonal flag.
New Yorkers don't like change. That's the problem.
New Yorkers don't like anything.
Unless they told them that they like it.
Yo, Creature, there's also a part of me, just because of the theming, I almost feel like you could get away with like real tree edge.
Oh my god.
That
would be crazy.
You probably could, bro. With this
my
one.
god, that would be proper as fuck.
You keep the olive crown.
Honestly, I can't figure out how to put camo on any of them, or another one I submitted would have been camo. So.
Yeah, I can help you with that. I think like the real tree with this would just be like
real tree would
set it over the
roof. That would set it off.
You're just
I hope so.
Yeah, full in. I think that'd be great.
Give it a vote. That'll make my day. I love it. Made me laugh the whole time, so I'm glad to see it.
Yeah, I love it.
The red neckery would be off the
real
chain.
tree and get some flannel in there too would be nice.
Oh my
god!
Yeah.
Oh wow! Oh wow! Real tree and flannel. Just throw it out.
Really into that white trash.
Oh man! Oh man!
Prophecies.
Plaid.
Is this another Reaper?
Yeah.
Shut up. It is. It is.
No.
I can see the scythe. No, I can see the scythe on the right hand side.
Right there. Yeah,
it is a Reaper.
It's a Reaper.
It's a Reaper.
Yeah, no doubt.
The scythe.
I have nothing to say at this point.
It's just what it is, bro. It's nothing bad. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Look, it's not bad. It's just kind of like
it's a better take.
Put some respect on the top vote getter tomorrow's name.
Here's the thing about this. It doesn't make any sense. So we got the Inspector Gadget hands. The Inspector Gadget.
I think
who's the guy?
Dr. Claw. Dr. Claw.
Dr. Claw.
Yeah, those don't look like skull hands.
I think
no, they don't.
It's like him looking through the ball, but I don't know how he's holding the scythe in the
right.
I don't.
Yeah,
maybe that's
scythe. Maybe he's got. Hey, maybe he has a sheath. And it, you know, like right behind his hood, and he's like, yeah, he snatched that shit out like some ill Black Panther level shit, bro. Whatever, I don't know, just making up shit. Oh boy,
the idea is what the prophecy is death.
The prophecy is death.
So it doesn't even have to be like skeleton hands.
But you're sitting in front of someone who's got those hands already. Like,
no,
it's supposed to be prophesizing its own death.
I think it's from a perspective of looking at it and what you're looking into the ball, and you see the Grim Reaper in the ball. It's not that the Grim Reaper himself is mirroring or anything like that. That's just the vision that you're seeing in the prophecy.
Yeah,
but it doesn't need to, and it doesn't need to have like skeleton hands either.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Then that just.
And what's up with the 2 stars?
I don't know.
There's
3.
It gets
3.
All
right.
I mean,
okay.
Out of a strong week, this is probably because the theming. I would say the theming of it, more or less, and we've seen so much creativity. Like, I don't know. I mean, it's done decently, but at the end of the day, like you think about the creativity that we've seen so far,
right?
The outside the box and all that stuff. So I don't
And
know.
we just had a hedgehog fucking a toad, just
right.
living
That's
life
what
in
I'm
the
saying.
South.
Like
Now
you
we got
see,
this interesting shit.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see.
Tomorrow should be interesting to watch this. I will be watching this one closely. I do like, there's things to like the element of the crystal ball, the hands motions around.
I
it,
like the elements of
different.
it. I just don't like the execution.
It doesn't have to be. Not everything has to be the Reaper.
Right.
Oh my God.
The prophecy could be something else. It could be riches.
Right.
You look in there. There's coins everywhere. Like.
Or even someone with money in their eyes, like, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
Especially with the color that he used.
Something
especially
else,
with the color that he used.
Right.
Yeah, it could have been a Red Bull or something. I don't know. Like
the hands are just flipped. They're just mirrored too.
Yeah, the hands are like
laser. Is it Reaper wearing glasses too?
Sunglasses.
He is wearing sunglasses.
Hey, he's a cool Reaper. You cut it out.
It's the chill Reaper.
He's just chilling, bro. It's green on purpose. Duh.
He fucks though, right? So
he fucks.
What's up, Point? Go ahead, Point.
I'm gonna kill you, but I'm taking you to the afterlife in my 1983 Trans Am.
Hold on, Point
has some Oakleys on.
I just said I'm just glad I didn't do anything green this week. Holy shit!
No, right? Why is he putting all the green
and mint
designs up?
It's lime green and mint.
Right, mint too.
Right.
Mint and lime green today.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, state park type feel, man.
I like the
It's
sound.
got
I like
a real state park feel. I like that.
I do like this one.
I'm a low key hater because it's the wrong state.
I'm
a low key hater, wrong state, bro. Yeah, that's all I was gonna say. I'm just hating just to hate. I really like the design. It could have been anything, but it could have been Arizona.
Yeah,
it could have been Arizona.
I'm getting this for sure. Too.
Dead ass. You said you drop an AZ on there, I'm on it, bro. I'll buy two.
Why did you use? Is because Texas has something to do with Texas? I know that, right? That
the blue bonnets. Yeah.
Okay. But it's executed well. And see, this is what I mean. Like, see how he did the flowers without the outlines?
Yes.
See, that's going to be nice.
Yeah. This is a really dope hat. I mean, I was literally just hating just to hate because it's not Arizona. I mean, otherwise, everything else about it is fire. Like, legit, I love it. And I really do like the colorway, too, by the way.
Great.
The colorway is just amazing, dude.
Yeah, good job, man. Hopefully, we'll see how it does.
I think my only criticism is like the snake head. It looks very like square or like rectangular.
Oh yeah, it does have more of a
I can see that.
feel.
It does give more of a constrictor feel. That's the only thing. Yeah.
Because I would like to see it wearing.
Because rattlers have more of a diamond head.
Yeah, they have more sharper end of their face.
Well, there's the rework if necessary. This is what a freaking week, man.
Yeah, man, this is banging. Everything.
Rough week to put an entry in.
Yeah. If this one doesn't make it through, I would just change the head and then put it back through.
Yeah, straight up. Hey, and change the state. And change the state. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, I said
You
it
got
again.
three
Yes.
potential buyers right here.
How do you guys feel about
the Arizona? Goddamn it!
The tail wrapping below the flowers? I almost feel like the tail's got to go above.
No, because he says that they're notorious for being in those fields, the snakes.
Yeah,
so it makes sense why the snake is in the field like that.
Okay.
But then now it's like for me now the nerd in me comes out. It's like now it's a scaling issue. Now it's like a 50-foot snake. Then
no, you know what? Have you ever seen a rattlesnake? They're short.
Not this close.
They don't have them in Canada.
Yeah, they're pretty big, dude.
They're pretty big.
They're pretty big. They're thick. They're thick size. Pause.
I had a we killed a Mojave green, and that sucker was maybe 3 feet and like just
and they're huge, dude. You see them on TV. Everything you see on TV makes you think that they're not. You think they're just little slimy, little skinny things, and they're not. They are something like if you walk by a rattler, like legit, you'll feel your life disappear, like because it's way different than you imagine it until you see it.
They're huge.
Yeah. It's Jormungandr or whatever, the snake that wraps around the world, but he's just focusing on Texas.
Yeah,
there we
go. So yeah, then the only
anywhere.
thing then is just the face. Then you fang it up a little bit more, give it that little edge,
Sharp.
less boa looking, and you're good. Almost looking like a sock puppet on this right now. But,
damn.
no, I mean I'm not saying to be
not in a clown way. It's just once you said it, now I can't get it out of my
No,
head.
man, it's like the chicken nugget comment. Sometimes you just say what it
Yeah,
looks
you gotta
like.
say what it is. That's
Hey,
it's still a great concept. It's still a great concept.
Yeah,
I think it'll vote good. So, all right.
Oh,
Yay!
Another one.
I love this one too, dude.
Yes. This was one of my favorites from 14.8.
Wow.
Yes.
What the fuck is this?
This week.
Yeah, I don't want. This is Clink doesn't want me to not. Clink doesn't want me to have
some of
money.
these are gonna get devastated.
Yeah.
with like
Right.
18%.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Done Told You right now at 14% tomorrow night.
Dude.
So I think my last one got under 20. So
But
That's what I'm
the thing.
saying.
Like, here's the problem. Like, we see the embroidery in the finished product. Like, people are gonna be like, "Oh, it's just a bird." You know,
Yeah. Stupid bird with some lightning eyes.
Yeah.
I think this is so fresh, though.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
I
gonna
just
look
think
so
it's
cool.
so fresh. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
gonna be really awesome if it comes out. I really hope it comes out.
The way Casey embroiders birds is like ridiculous because
Yes,
he'll
it is.
layer the threading like you would layer feathers on an actual bird. Every
yep.
single bird hat that I have, they're all kind of embroidered with this kind of same aesthetic where it's all kind of done in sections and layers.
18 pre-orders this week.
I feel like this is like
Wish,
blocked
right?
like a tattoo almost, like the way that
Yeah.
it's kind of like
that's his style.
compiled and whatever. Yeah, it's like really tattoo style.
Casey's
Big
just going to come
chunky.
back and just be like, listen, the next 3
Next
weeks,
3
are
weeks.
orders out of this batch. Just
That's exactly what I was thinking. They
I wish.
just
Awesome.
take all of them for the next 3 weeks.
This one is. I loved the other colorway of this too. It's in like a really like funky colorway. It's like Vegas gold and has like shades of teal and pink and stuff.
The beachy
yeah, the alt colorway on this I actually liked more, but I also love loud colors. But the black and red is just gonna slap. So
Yeah, that's good for crits. The black and red usually goes well.
Yeah. Yes, it does.
All right, moving forward.
Oh,
Pumpkin
Dude, that's pretty good. Not gonna lie.
Yeah,
Wow.
this is funny.
Wow.
With the
Wow.
Kong, it's with the Kong.
Wow.
This is a meme, right? This is a
my
meme.
Wow.
God, this is
Wow.
fantastic.
I'm sold. I'm sold.
Listen,
I'm
I
sold.
don't do Halloween themed stuff, but my
I'd buy this.
God,
I would buy this too. Yeah, I could care less about
is
Halloween. Buy it.
fantastic.
The Kong body on there is just that.
Oh my God, that's money.
That's
That's so money.
good.
Jesus.
We could edit some of the
Because I'm
proportions,
totally
though,
imagining
right?
that there's the Kong face underneath that pumpkin.
Oh my God, no, this is
That's good stuff.
I
think
actually
the
kinda
front-
like the
front
proportions,
arm
though.
needs to be bigger than the one with the coffee, no, or at least the
Yeah,
same
I think he's pushing out the coffee.
Yeah, he's pushing the coffee
Okay,
towards you. It looks like
okay,
rather than
yeah.
just holding it to drink. Yeah,
I got you.
Other than that, it's great. Like
I love
yeah,
this.
I would,
This is so
I would
good.
almost even emphasize that arm a little bit more and the head a little bit bigger.
Ah, yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, just to accentuate like what, like
Pumpkin
'cause
spice and
those two points are like the main points of the design. So
Yeah.
for whatever reason, if this doesn't make it, I would just emphasize those a little bit more.
Agreed.
Yeah,
It's
With
funny. though.
the arm on the arm on the right, his left arm's a little bit awkward. Like, it almost has like one extra finger compared to the one on the left.
No, I think it's just the way she drew it. It's
Yeah.
fine. It's not. I would extend it down a little bit more.
Yeah, just
because
have it
apes are
down.
notorious for longer arms.
Yes.
But other than that, head a little bit bigger and really emphasize the cup. I would.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Great Halloween colorway too. But like
Yeah.
picture
fantastic.
perfect Halloween colorway.
Yeah, that's great.
This is awesome. Oh my! I love.
What
I
a
didn't.
week.
I didn't clock it at first. Is it's pumpkin spice?
Yeah, pumpkin.
I didn't clock that, and it just
Pumpkin.
made it that much better.
Yeah, right.
Go to this last one because this last one looked ridiculous. Oh,
Assassin. Oh, nice to see Assassin's back in it.
Yeah, he does one every once in a while, right?
Oh, and his stuff usually pops too. I don't have an Assassins in the collection, but from what I've seen, his stuff is like ready, shop ready, and embroidered great.
This. Yeah,
I love the shading on this.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever seen this.
Tonal undervisor is a problem, but maybe he just didn't know how.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's going to be different.
I'd put that as like a darker green.
That'd be fine with me. Green.
Yeah, anything
Like
but
that
that
green.
tonal. Yeah,
Yeah. Anything but tonal. Yeah.
Anything but tonal. Makes it feel cheap. Feels lazy.
They're just like two different worlds.
Why didn't he? So see,
yes, they have two different feels to them.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
I'd almost lose the
get rid of the rabbit.
Altogether. I agree.
Yeah,
and
the rabbit looks like a rabbit looks all minimalistic, and then the predator is like something completely different. Yeah, it's kind of
he could just call it predator. I would call it predator.
Yeah,
predator. Yeah,
take the rabbit off, because if the name prey would mean you need to emphasize the actual
rabbit. Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And
right.
you know what?
Do it as like a viewpoint of the prey.
Yeah, there you go.
But predator might not make it through legal.
Which I can't.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know. It looks a little. Yeah. I hate to say it looks a little clip arty, but just
the tiger does. Yeah,
it's probably because of the clashing styles.
I think that's what it is.
I don't know if you need the background. I kind of like that it's like a background flowing with the image. That's kind of cool to me. But maybe there's a cooler way to incorporate that, like a shadow casted or something. I don't know.
I'm just glad he didn't put like a landscape in that silhouette of the head. It almost looks like a silhouette of a head, you know?
Oh man.
So
what do you think, Point? What do you think on this one?
I mean, same criticism. The rabbit's a little bit simple compared to the rest of the logo. Maybe you can do like slashes, like claw marks instead.
Yeah, see, that would have been dope. Yeah.
That he's like coming out of basically coming through. But I like the idea for sure. The predator is really nice in it. I'd buy it just like that, with the predator and without the rabbit in it for sure.
Yeah, the top UV needs to be something else though, like maybe a darker.
How many of this group goes through to shop? You guys think, if you're gonna bet?
If 6 don't make it, I would be sad.
Right? How could 6 not make it from this group?
I'd be shocked.
2.
Yeah, I mean, we know 6 aren't going to go through from this group, but 6 should go through from this group.
I wouldn't be surprised at 2 as well. I hope 6, but sometimes it feels like 2 just like break out and they're way ahead of everything, and then it's like, oh well, all these are so bunched together. Which ones do we take?
I can tell you which one I don't hope doesn't make it. But on that note, I've got to put kids to bed. I'm out.
All right, Paco.
All right, Paco.
I think it'll be a cool experience if we take it off air and then try to force rank our 6, because we do have that kind of graphic that comes out.
Oh
1, 2,
yeah,
3, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you guys are
I only thinks 3, 2 to 3. Oh man.
Yeah.
No. Like, I mean, like normally that graphic is like me forcing the guests to rank their top 3 and then me ranking my 3. So if we just combine it and just do a collective 6, I think
we have to pick 6 that'll go to Critz.
Yeah, that'd be a cool experiment, and we just release that graphic.
Or go to shop rather.
Yeah.
That's a cool idea. If it's not on the camera, that's cool.
I mean, hey, everyone that was here and all of us, we just got to keep helping each other out, and hopefully we can get some votes and get 6 in this week. That'd be great.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing, is like we just give each other a little bit more grace and just know that not everything is super personal, and everyone is operating with good intention in mind, and we take it from there. I know sometimes it gets a little easy to be like, yeah, fuck that guy or whatever, but just
plus it's a good thing, a good character thing to forgive, even if you feel like that, to be able to forgive and move on. I think it helps your soul.
Yeah, don't carry it with you.
Yeah.
So it was a good experience. Shout out to everyone who's like watched a 3.5 hour freaking
Right?
live stream.
I know, right?
Shout out to everyone who's jumped in and out. Like I love stuff like this. Like I live for stuff like this.
This was
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us. Leon.
Yeah,
thanks for
No
pulling
problem.
it together like this. This was really a lot of fun.
Yeah, maybe we'll have to try to do it like once a month or something.
I'm down because my initial like thing was like, let's get everyone on the show at least once. I think I've ran through at least 80 to 90% of whoever has been involved. So whoever wants to come on, open invite, just let me know. We'll work out a time. But yeah, I mean, eventually we're gonna run out of people to interview. So the group stuff is fun for sure.
Definitely,
it's more interactive too.
Mad fun. Yeah, the live was great. People saying stuff in chat that reminds you of things you wish you would have said, you know.
Yeah. So definitely.
Leon, I'll come on again if you ever want to do.
Yeah. Open invite. It doesn't matter. Whoever. Like today we learned that 10 is the max we can have on camera. 12 is the max we can have in studio. So yeah, it'd be cool to get, because I mean that's what Clink is. It's all about community, and no one's voice should be bigger than anyone else's, I think. So it's a open invite to whoever wants to take part, I think.
That's great.
Cool. But with that being said, anyone have any questions they want to send me in advance to ask Casey? I'm going to be in San Diego starting Saturday, and we'll be filming and doing the episode live from San Diego.
No way.
Yeah,
very nice.
So
maybe I'll have to come down and see you. I'm only a couple hours away.
Yeah, me too.
Let me know. Saturday morning I get in, and I leave Tuesday early. So
yeah, Ink Park, are you in SoCal?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Ventura County.
Okay, so I'm in the high desert.
Okay, I know where you're at.
Yeah. So not too far.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
But all right, for everyone who's been in here, we're signing out. See you guys next week.
Later, y'all.
Peace.
Yep.